A fan.
Hey, what it do?
Ahoy!
What's up? Good
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
There you
That's
go.
right. I was thinking Wednesday because
No.
Juneteenth. Because we're off tomorrow.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that?
Yeah, we're off.
We're off midweek, day off. Got to celebrate
Yeah,
gay pride.
No, not quite.
Oh,
No.
got to
no.
celebrate the emancipation of slavery.
I would say that, yeah, that's kind of a big deal. It's a little weird because
Hell yeah.
when you get a new holiday, like people are kind of poking fun at it and like, oh, did we have the day off and did we have it last year? And it's kind of become a punchline. But of all the stuff that we do take the day off for, no offense to presidents and obviously, the Veterans Day, and
Labor Day.
Memorial
Christopher
Day
Columbus
are,
at times.
are great. But yeah, Columbus Day and was the like you said, Labor Day. I would say that the end
Yeah.
of slavery,
That's right.
not quite possibly the darkest period in our country's history,
That's
kind
right.
of a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's a little ridiculous that it's become like a punchline.
We're going to celebrate it. Why is it a punchline?
Yeah, because people are mocking it. It's like,
Why?
oh,
Who are people?
another day off. A lot of people. And I'm like,
I haven't heard that one time,
oh,
Jason.
God.
In my life,
You're so full of crap. They were
not one time.
You're so full of it.
I really haven't.
People are like, they're talking about it on the radio.
I just
today.
think there are probably a lot of rubes who don't know what it is.
Exactly. And so
But-
it's like a lot of like, hey, we got the day off today. Hey, great. What's it for again?
Well,
Yeah,
Isaac is so woke that it is normalized for him. So.
You even
I
made
am
a
super
joke
woke.
about it at the beginning.
What? Gay pride? It's not gay. What?
God.
Look, man. I haven't heard that.
Even though you literally did it to start the show.
I'm gay.
I was just joking, though.
That's kind of
just
my
a
point.
joke.
That's kind of my point.
I know what Juneteenth is,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to celebrate it
By going to Vampire Weekend.
in the widest way possible.
Yes.
Going
Bend.
to Bend, Oregon, to a Vampire Weekend show.
That really is. Like,
And I will return on Thursday with a head count of African Americans.
Yeah, and I did believe we.
Is it only at the show, or is it the
no,
whole day?
at the show.
Okay, only
at
at the show.
We
Okay.
set the over under 4.5.
Yep.
And I'm taking the under.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll report back.
Yes. So just I feel very confident in my 4.5. Because we did this at the Creed show up in A&A. And we also set it, I think we set it there at 3.5. And you know what? The under hit. By the way, security guards don't count. Patrons.
Now, are we being racist by even doing this?
No, I
Should
think
we back off of this?
we're just acknowledging the whiteness of a Vampire Weekend show, just like we were acknowledging the whiteness of a Creed show at A&A.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, I buried the lead. It's Ryan Buckley, everybody.
Hey!
How about that? He's back.
I told him to stay the hell away from me.
Yeah.
I'm
not-
gonna be
which is
quarantining
worse?
away from Buck.
Your scrot or the rash all over your body?
I don't have a rash all over my body. I did not
Oh.
get hand, foot, and mouth disease. That only belongs to my 7-month-old.
That you tell us right now. How long, by the way, has the foot and mouth and whatever disease been around your house?
Yeah, what's going on there?
Well, it cropped up on Saturday, or symptoms of it.
So you could be incubating right
but
now.
I was out
Wow.
on Friday, and yeah, I mean, I don't think that you guys would have been exposed to it in any way, shape, or form.
I swear to God.
well, what if we're being exposed right now?
Yeah.
I don't think
through
you
the
are.
glass?
We saw a physician yesterday, a family
Yes,
physician.
a doctor.
They told us
All
that
right.
we needn't worry, that my wife and I have dodged it, and because
whoa. How do you know you've dodged
because
it?
he is past the contagious stage and has been since Saturday night, and we don't have any symptoms yet.
When do the symptoms kick in?
I don't know.
I don't trust
Duke's
this at
a
all.
doctor.
Yeah,
I don't-
clearly.
I
He'll
find
tell
this,
that doctor
I
what's
find
up.
this very convenient. That some sort of
Convenient?
highly.
You think I'd want to come to work for one day before we have a day off?
Totally.
I don't
That's a
trust
good
it.
point.
I don't
I mean,
trust this
you
at
could have
all.
easily.
I could have milked this into a
Yes.
6-day weekend
Yes.
between the snip on Friday and this
Yes.
thing, but I didn't because I'm okay.
I don't know. I
Yes.
just telling you right now, if there's a rash that breaks out, you're getting hurt.
I wouldn't blame you for
I'm gonna
that.
meet you in the parking
so wait,
lot.
it's called hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Correct.
And it sounds terrible, and kids get it, and
Yep.
people get it, and
It's a lot like, it's almost like a milder, more modern version of chickenpox.
Yeah.
In that it's very contagious. It affects children more than it does adults. It's contracted by children more than it is adults, but when an adult gets it, it tends to be worse than it is for kids.
and your stupid kid got it.
Yeah, my kid got it from daycare.
God, daycare.
Daycare, man.
So gross.
Cesspools. I was saying when the only experience I've had with this is a girl dumped me in college because she got the disease.
Oh.
And I was like, ew, go away.
Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't you dumping her.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was my thing. I was like, you need to go over there. And then she was very angry at my response.
Oh, you weren't compassionate enough?
Oh, no, I wasn't compassionate at all. I was like, dude, get the hell away from me. And ick. And please don't touch me. And then she was all offended, and that was the end of it. That's my only experience. But seeing the rash, boy, it's alarming. And it's like if it's your little kid, but if it's someone that you're doing stuff with,
yeah,
and you just see that rash pop up, you're like, oh God.
It kind of looks like little baby acne or a little like baby chicken pox, like all around the mouth. So
if
you were
crying?
dating someone with that, you wouldn't want that.
Was the little dude crying incessantly?
Yeah, he was just real
Like a
fussy and
little bitch?
drooling like a machine. I mean, he was just soaking through bibs. It was ridiculous.
It's rough. It's rough on the little
And
man.
you can't, and you've got,
You got scrotal issues, so you're not.
Yeah,
You're
so
down now. That left Mrs.
Mom,
Buckley.
I bet Mom had a weekend.
She had a weekend, I believe.
No. Get on your knees. It's wonderful.
God, that's really sexist.
Wow. We weren't being racist, but apparently sexist.
Yeah, somebody on the text line cleared us of racism.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So we live to see another day.
We don't know if that's white or not, but America, yeah. Are you gonna owe favors now because the scrotal thing? And
Probably.
then
Well,
hand,
it's
foot?
it's weird though because, I mean, I was thinking I really shouldn't have to feel a whole lot of guilt for having my beanbag cut into, but here I am not being able to help while there's
Suddenly
stuff.
you're guilted.
Well, it's not so much that I was guilted, but it was like I don't know. I was initially
Well, you feel bad, probably.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I wish that I could do something more, but it was banner weekend in the Buckley house. The older one took a header over the handlebars too, so that it was a whole thing.
Wow. So the rash is gone.
The rash has
fever is
much
gone?
like chicken pox, like it's started to scab over. They're not like fresh or
Excuse me.
active.
Right.
And no more fever. Hasn't had a fever since
And your
Saturday.
penile reduction surgery went well.
It went okay.
You're more manageable.
I
now.
think that it's all still there. So
Good.
they just rearranged some parts.
How was that? How did that go?
It was pretty fine. I mean,
that's what most people say.
Honestly, the local anesthetic was
Yes.
probably the most painful part.
Right.
Because they hit the nerve that gives you that same sensation when you get kicked in the beanbag,
Yeah.
and that's not great.
Yeah.
But it's not as severe as that.
How big's
and
the
once-
needle?
I didn't even look at it.
Good.
So and
Smart.
needles have never really bothered me in that way. But you're laying back on just like a doctor's table, so it's not like. But it's weird. They bring a little spotlight for your
Oh,
area,
yeah.
so you're like,
All
look at
right.
the star now.
Did you
Light
smell
that
the
up.
burning pork when they were cauterizing?
I couldn't smell it, but I also knew that people said you could, so I kind of tried not to. I tried to breathe through my mouth, I guess.
That
I
was
don't
the
want to
weird,
smell my own flesh.
That was the weirdest part for me is you just smell something burning and
What's
you're like,
that
what's
cooking?
that? Oh wait, that's me.
weenie roast.
It's my junk. Well, I'm glad to see. Remember, you're not out of the clear yet, Buck. It just gives you all the more reason to party. You got to get through like 60 times.
I was told only 25 times.
25.
Yeah.
Say now, just tell your wife it's 60.
And in about 3 months, I'm supposed to give a sample, and we'll test that sample to make sure that I am sterile.
Yeah. I did that actually a couple years later just to make sure.
Not a bad idea.
I didn't trust the.
No, they've said that if it's not cauterized right, it can grow back. Like
Bingo.
the whole life finds a way thing.
Yep. Not in my way. I got the special Evel Knievel Grand Canyon, nothing jumping that sucker. We're done. Done with that.
Life does find a way, and you two should be ashamed of yourselves.
If I have a kid, that kid better be Jesus or someone's got some explaining to do.
Well, I'm glad you're better, Jace. Or, I mean, what's your name?
Buck.
Ryan?
I'm Ryan,
Yeah, nice to see you.
Thanks.
Glad you're better.
Thanks.
Glad your kid's better. Glad you're back because Ortner's annoying and Schultze's mad about the world. And so it's just really rough around here when you're not around.
Oh yeah, how did
It's tough.
how did the Schultze hot takes talk go on Friday?
Yeah, good. You know, he gives some more of his grievances.
we learned what power is that little faux hawk of his, and
He's
boy,
just
it's
an angry little.
It's just an angry little hamster
little
running
dude.
around that head, that Home Depot head of his, just
Angry hamster.
just cruising. It's a hell of a thing being Schultze. Hell of a thing.
Well, the NBA is over.
Yeah, we got. Yeah.
Until next week. We got the
we
draft.
got the draft, man.
Did you guys know where we're going for the draft?
Yeah,
Have you guys heard that?
I love me some 10-barrel.
10-barrel brewing next Wednesday. A week from tomorrow.
It's supposed to be in the 80s. I'm assuming we'll be up on the rooftop deck.
Why would you assume that?
Because it's 80 degrees outside. Why wouldn't they put us up top?
Well, all I'd have to tell you there is, remember when we went to the Pac-12 to the Rose Bowl one time, and they put us by the porta potties on a nice 75-degree day?
10 barrels.
You know,
10 barrels better than that.
Never take anything for granted.
No.
Well, it's not 10 barrel. It's our people.
Well, I'm hoping for rooftop deck, and also let me just say this for the record:
An Odyssey station.
the nachos at 10 barrel, some of the finest nachos you'll ever have. The Gorgonzola, like brisket nachos, is fine. Find me a better nacho. It'll go toe to toe with any nacho that you're gonna have. Delightful.
We'll have to try it.
Yeah, and of course, many fine beers.
That'll be Wednesday.
Yeah.
You should come join us. So the Blazers pick 7th,
And 14th,
14th,
and no one, and I mean
34th.
no one knows.
and 40th. What do you mean no one knows?
No one knows.
No one knows what?
No one knows anything. This
About
draft
what?
is absolute chaos.
Why?
Because there's
What does that mean?
There's no consensus on anything.
Oh.
You can listen to 20 different draft experts that are all dialed in, and normally you start to kind of get it condensed, and it's like, hey, this is the consensus. The consensus is there is no consensus. I mean, people are saying left and right that they talk to like inside sources close to teams, and even sources on that same team, around that same team, have different views of which way this is going to go. I mean, it's crazy. This may be a year where normally the number 1 and even number 2 and 3 picks are pretty much just outlined. I don't even think that's the case this year, let alone Portland sitting there at 7. Portland could be, you got to prepare for like 8 different possibilities sitting there at 7, because there could be someone that falls to you or everyone's off the board. Do you take 14? Do you move up?
Well, it sounds to me like
People want out of this draft.
this could be, since nobody knows anything and it's wild and topsy-turvy, sounds like Bronny James to Portland. Is that what I'm hearing?
I will say at the
I'm
end
going
of the
to that
draft,
late.
pick number 55 is going to be interesting.
The Lakers?
Well,
Is that the Lakers?
yeah, that's the Lakers at 55. Because it appears that no one else wants him. And LeBron James certainly does.
I thought the Suns wanted him.
No one wants this kid. The only reason someone would draft him is 2 things. One, spite, and the other one being
Spite why? To keep him away from his daddy?
yeah, just like an FU sort of thing. Because look, LeBron James and his bratty kid, I've never seen anything like it. The guy isn't even a really a draftable player, and they're turning down workouts and saying that we're not going on a 2-way contract. I mean, it's unbelievable. The balls, the unmitigated gall that the James family has for this, it's quite impressive. So you got 3 options. One, spite, which I find hilarious, and then moving him to a 2-way contract and saying, screw you. The other one being obviously the Lakers at 55 take him to try to appease LeBron, and then you got to tell your coach, sorry, this kid's at the end of the bench, figure something out. Or for a team like Phoenix, LeBron James is going to opt out probably and be a free agent. If you're Phoenix, can you sell LeBron on the fact of, hey, we're a good team. We've got Durant, we've got Beal, we've got Booker. You're 40 years old. You come here. You don't have to carry the load. We're not asking you to play, 38 minutes a night, but you and your son can play together. Phoenix, great weather. And we think that we can actually win a title down here. Would you like to try to win a title with a 4th team? Would LeBron entertain that at all? Other than that, there is zero, and I mean 0 reason to draft this kid.
Well, so what you're saying is the Blazers should take him 14th or wait and try to get him at 30 or 34. Sorry.
Yeah, 34.
Or 40. Do you push your? I mean,
I think you're fine at 40. No one wants this kid. Nobody.
Well, anyway, next Wednesday we'll be at 10 Barrel Brewing. Make sure you bring your basketball pants
there you go.
and
Maybe
your beer pants.
Some tearaways. Well, actually, the tearaways are good too because you can undo the top. Like if you get a little full from the nachos and the beer.
Yeah.
You'd never go to like a cookout wearing tight pants. You got to have some elastic in those.
I haven't thought of that rule of thumb, but that makes sense. The other
I
nice thing
hadn't
about
thought about that either.
Other nice thing about the tearaway is if it's a little too warm outside, open up the bottom around the calves, get a little vent, little breeze in there. Yeah.
You've never thought about like if I'm going to a Thanksgiving dinner or I'm going to like Fogo de Chao, I'm going to a buffet.
I mean, I don't wear tight pants anyways, but I haven't really thought of it before.
I ain't wearing slacks.
Yeah.
No. We'll maybe put on some pants with some stretch in them. You got to prepare. You got to know what you're dealing with there. You don't go to an NBA draft party for a night of eating and drinking and celebrating and then wear tight-fitting jeans. Come on.
All right, well, we're ready to roll. We've got an NBA champ. They are the Boston Celtics.
Yes.
Kind of a lame playoffs.
Yeah.
Kind of a boring champ,
Yeah, all that. Oh, Dallas is going to make it a series. And no.
but we have audio. And we're going to wrap that up. And then I've got a little college football grundle thumper today
Ooh, I like a grundle.
Whoa.
for you guys.
Okay.
Boy, I'll
That's
tell you
in
what,
Mine's
honor
probably
of-
a little tender still, so
Yeah,
easy.
That's
easy.
in honor of Buck.
that's a great name for a fantasy team, the Grundle Thumpers.
Dude.
Dude, I would not want to tangle with the Grundle Thumpers come playoff time.
Probably it seems like a good insult too, you grundle thumper.
Yeah, look, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep that one in the back pocket. I've been using S-Bird a lot, you know.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that one. I got it from that's a Tropic Thunder. That's a McConaughey.
It's a classic.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Listen here, S-Bird, but I kind of like listen up, Grundle Thumper. Yeah, I appreciate that.
That's solid, Rob.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you seen Timberlake's mugshot, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Wait, what'd he do?
Molly poppers,
DUI.
an HIV drug, and coke
DWI.
Nice.
and booze. Yeah, that's an impressive.
Nice little bingo card.
It's an impressive run of things.
The Hamptons. You know what he's doing? He's living his best life.
Yeah, minus the
you can't,
Truvada or whatever. That's a little.
You can't get behind the wheel.
No.
The wheel.
No, Molly poppers, booze and coke. JT, buddy, getting after it.
All right, we'll start with the NBA playoffs and put a bow on that. That's the subject of our poll question today, or at least partially. And we'll get to that next on The Fan.
Yeah.
Yes, it's us, Isaac and Suk. Welcome into our show. It's time to get to our poll question. It's on X at 1080 The Fan. As always, brought to you by AAA Heating and Cooling, a family business helping families for over 60 years. AAA-IAQ.com. Yesterday, the question was, will Rory McIlroy ever win another major? 61% of you said yes.
A lot of faith.
Yep. A lot of people do have faith.
Yeah, we've been close. I mean, that's about as close as it gets last time.
McIlroy releasing a statement. I'll corkscrew that in here if you'd like.
Yeah, I saw that.
He said, well, the first thing he did was...
Congratulate Bryson.
Well, no, the first thing he did was he made a faux pas.
Oh, he faux pa'd?
He wrote, firstly.
Oof.
That's a big one.
Dude, come on.
That's a big one.
Who's proofreading this?
Yeah, I mean,
Fire that PR.
Somebody's got to be. I mean, come on, man. That's a grade school mistake.
That's
Damn
basic.
it, Rory.
So he said,
Firstly,
where the hell is it? Oh, I'd like to congratulate Bryson. He's a worthy champion and exactly what professional golf needs right now. I think we can all agree on that. Yesterday was a tough day, probably the toughest I've had in my nearly 17 years as a professional golfer. Ouch. He's admitting that was tougher than that Open that Cam Smith took from him.
Yeah.
And that was, my God, was that last year? Or was that 2
last
years?
year? Or was it 2 years ago? I thought that was 2 years ago. And don't forget, remember, he had the Masters, or he had the meltdown at the Masters where he basically cried. I mean,
that was when he was a kid.
That was when he was young.
Yeah, but he came back from that.
Yeah. But, he's no crying in golf. But
I think that was last year.
Was the Cam Smith one?
Who won the Open last year if it wasn't Cam Smith?
Let's look at the British Open.
Golly, I'm just getting old. Yesterday was a tough day, probably the toughest I've had in my 17 years as a pro golfer. As I reflect on my week, I'll rue a few things over the course of the tournament, mostly the 2 missed putts on holes 16 and 18 on the final day. But as I always...
he'll rue them?
He will rue them,
Nobody
yes.
talks
By the way,
like that.
Harmon won last year. Cam Smith was 2
Yeah,
years
that's
ago.
right. Yeah, I knew he...
It's the waggle.
USA!
But as I always try to do, I'll look at the positives of the week that far outweigh the negatives. Ultimately, while it was a bruising loss... Oh, wait. As I said at the start of the tournament, I feel closer to winning my next major championship than I ever have. The one word that I would describe my career as is resilient. I've shown my resilience over and over in the last 17 years, and I will again. And he is right about that. Like I said, the way he lost the back nine at the Masters when he was just a pup, that could have scarred him for life, but he's certainly put that in the rearview mirror. He says, I'm going to take a few weeks away from the game to process everything and build myself back up for my defense of the Genesis Scottish Open and the Open at Royal Troon. See you in Scotland. So he's just going to bow out for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That had to hurt. There's no question.
Well, you think about him sitting there, because it's been how many years? Over a decade?
10 years.
10 years, right? And, that's a huge drought, and you're like, God, he's so talented. But then you realize, in the history of golf, only 15 players have won more major championships than Rory.
Right.
Like that. That's why I always fight the major championship thing is weird to me, because you win one, and I'm trying to think of who was a one-off, but was still a good golfer, not like a complete fluke.
Are you talking just any major?
Yeah, just who was the
well, Stuart Sink won one.
There you go, Stuart Sink, right?
Good player.
Well, I bet like Zach Johnson, who was younger, right?
Yeah.
And so you're like, that's what I'm because Stuart Sink was a little bit older, right? But Zach Johnson wins one when he's pretty young, right? And you're like, oh man, maybe this is the start of something. And it wasn't. Like, he was a good golfer and he was around for a while, but it was just kind of a one-off.
He won 2 though.
Did he win 2?
Yeah, he won the Open as well.
Okay, well this kind of even furthers my point, right? You win 2 and you're like, oh man. Like,
here he comes,
right? Here and then and then it's just kind of it's gone.
Yeah.
So when a guy like Rory wins 4 and you're like, oh, here, and then it's like this expectation. When you win 1 or even 2 and then you kind of go away, we don't think much about it. We're like, whatever. Like, you got your 1 or 2, it's a great run, he's a solid golfer. But you win 3, you win 4, you win 5. Now we expect you to win 15. And you start looking at the guys that have won,
well, he's
5, 6, 7 of these things. It is the definition of rarefied air.
It is, but he is a generational talent.
Well,
he's not Zach Johnson, so dude, it's so arbitrary. He's 5 putts from having 7 majors.
Yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating that. And remember how many times Phil missed
yeah. And he
at the majors before winning a bunch.
Yeah. And Phil's had some colossal meltdowns himself.
It's kind of a weird deal. Maybe Roy will be like the Patriots. He wins a bunch,
takes the 10 years off.
takes the 10 years, and then wins a bunch. I mean, he's certainly good enough.
So he's got 4. If I give you, how old is he?
35.
So he's got, let's go,
Not that young.
7 more years of,
Okay.
because he takes care of himself, right?
Seems to.
Yeah. So we'll give you 5 to 7 more years.
Except for his womanizing ways, according to Schultz.
According to Schultz. So even if we say 7, he's got 28 more cracks at this thing.
28.
28.
Mm-hmm.
I give you the over-under. He's got to get over-under 2.5.
2.5, I'll probably go under.
Under?
But if you
1.5.
gave me 1.5, I'd go over.
You think he gets 2?
Maybe a couple.
Yeah.
And he should be able to get one
Yeah.
for 28 and get at least one more, right?
I think he'll get one more, yeah, at least.
Isn't it crazy to think that this goes back to we're assuming, and yet it has been a long time.
11 years? What's
And
the
he's
drought?
not better. He's not better than he was. Now you're fighting off father time too. But Phil won one when he was old, and it happens. Jack had one when he's old. Tiger had one when he was old and broken. So you would assume if Roy is that level of talent, he gets another one. But I'm saying 4 is a hell of an accomplishment.
I think a couple of things that hurt him. Well, one thing definitely that hurt him was the whole live thing, and then PGA Tour basically propping him up as their golden boy, and him kind of taking that mantle. He even admitted that really hurt his game.
Yeah, he regrets it.
So that cost him a couple years right there.
Yeah.
And now he's just bounced back from that. I don't know. He's playing awful good golf, man.
I like Rory. I'd like to see it. I just,
I think he gets another
golf
one.
is a bitch mistress, man.
Oh, it's so tough. it's unmasterable. It's unbelievable.
I know. It's ridiculous.
I want to see him win the Masters. At any rate, let's get to today's poll. That was yesterday's poll.
Let's get to
61% of people think that Rory will win another major. Today, we're asking you which coach under the age of 40 is the best. We've got 4 options for you because that's all they give us on there.
Right.
D'Amico Ryans, he is 39. Joe Mazzulla, NBA champion, he is 35.
You think Ime Udoka's just sitting around being like, gosh, how good was that?
Where
How
is
good
he
was
now?
I thought about that last night for the first time. What a bag fumble. Like the fact that you had all this talent stacked up with the best team in the league and you couldn't keep it together because you were horny.
Yeah,
Man.
like that must.
Hey,
I
that's
hope,
the Mel Tucker playbook.
Yes, it is.
Which was
Although
the
Mel
worst-
Tucker didn't have it going the way Ime Udoka had it going.
Mel
Which
Tucker's
is
was
the
worse.
worst bag fumble?
Mel, because it was $80 million.
Yeah, he
How
lost
much
more
did
money,
Ime lose?
Not $80 million.
but he lost. I bet he lost a championship.
Yeah, he lost the championship, and now he's back in. He's with
He's
the
in
Rockets.
Houston.
Somebody's assistant, right?
No, he's the
No,
head
he's
coach.
the head-
Oh, he's the head coach of
of
Houston?
Yeah.
I don't know what Mel's doing, but he's sitting around trying to think about how to sue to win his $80 million back. But boy, over like some married front office strange. Ime, my man. And he had a smoking hot actress wife who made a bunch of money.
I don't think they were married.
Well, but they were together for years
Yeah.
and years and years. It's one of the great fumbles. I mean, it's Ernest Biner level fumble. That's what we're dealing with here.
So we've got Mazzulla. He's only 35. Playing hurt, too, by the way. He had a torn ACL
Yeah.
over there, just coaching
Just
his
out
little
there
balls off.
coaching it. He's not complaining. He's not pulling a Luka and dragging
That's
that
right.
leg around the court.
Well, he's not like the Minnesota coach and has to sit behind the bench.
Candy ass.
We also have, Sean McVay.
Oh,
He's only 38.
well, there's your answer.
And Dan Lanning.
Oh,
Ha 38. There you go.
I'm taking that little dude in LA.
4 pretty good coaches there.
Football's football, and the only way to get better at it is to play football.
Sean McVay's really good. He is.
Well, I think they're all good.
Yeah, but dude, McVay is more responsible for what they're doing in LA. Took a team to the brink of a Super Bowl, realized that he didn't have his running back anymore, had to completely pivot and change his offense completely, paid his quarterback who got him to the brink of a Super Bowl and realized under the system he was needing to play now to win, he couldn't do it with this quarterback. Ate the biggest contract in NFL history to go get Matthew Stafford, who people thought was injury prone and over the hill. Came in, won a damn Super Bowl, had the thing torn under him from again, had to completely rip his team apart. We're supposed to be the worst team in the league, one of them, with the youngest roster, and look at what they did. I mean, he is Sean McVay. If the Celtics are the balls, then Sean McVay is the grundle, because that dude is amazing.
Celtics are the balls.
He is more responsible than any of those. No offense to Mazzulla. I'm not saying anyone could have won a title with Boston. I'm not pulling the Isaac Ropp goes and jumps in and there's not an effect there. I think a lot of people could have coached this Boston team, especially the path that they had to the playoffs, or through the playoffs, I should say.
Yeah, we're still not giving him credit,
Well,
are we?
I give him credit. I'm just not ready to say that Joe Mazzulla is Phil Jackson.
That's fair.
It's
but
the easiest.
it's a pretty good job.
They
that he
were
did.
great. He did a great job, but
He's
this
a good
is the
coach.
easiest path to an NBA championship that we've seen.
It is. All right, so there's the poll. Vote. It's on X at 1080 The Fan. Please vote hard. That's all we ask. The Vancouver Ford text line is 503-864-6326. Your dollar goes further at Vancouver Ford. They treat you right before, during, and after the sale. VancouverFord.com. The Celtics are the balls. They win the title. And Jason Tatum is corny.
Yes.
So we'll get to that with audio next. Here's Buck.
thing, you know, he's not anywhere, and he's fighting. He's owed $80 million by Michigan State, and he's going to sue over that. And he did win a court battle. Brendan Tracy's lawyers are arguing that the text messages between her and her friend, that Tucker, and messages between her and Tucker, you know, he says that prove that it was a consensual relationship. Tracy sued to have those locked. She said it would cause irreparable harm to her foundation, and a judge tossed it. So those text messages are going to come out. So this Mel Tucker thing is not over. Like, I know Brenda Tracy has a great name and a great reputation. Dude, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that disagree with some of that, and I'm going to be really interested to see what happens when Mel Tucker's lawsuit comes to fruition.
Russo!
Whoops.
It's the greatest in the world. We have done it.
Misfire. That was Blazers' fan reaction from '77.
Super duper.
Didn't mean to hit that.
Wonderful. Just marvelous.
Yeah, well, all right. I still think she did Michigan State a favor because Mel Tucker wasn't.
Well, unfortunately, look, this sounds really bad. I think Michigan State fired him because they didn't want him as their head coach, not because of anything that happened.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But they were able to do it with cause.
We'll see. So. You don't walk away from $80 million without a fight. So.
All right. Well, Boston wins.
Yeah, Boston. The Celtics are the balls.
Yeah.
And they really are.
Whatever. Yeah, they're great.
It's a dominant run.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way to.
They were the best team in the regular season.
Yep.
They proved that they were the best team overall. They cruised through the playoffs. They did not get many of the best teams, but that doesn't matter. A playoff run is a playoff run. They're awesome. I love the way they play. No ego. They share the ball. Well coached. Team first. They defend. That's the way basketball should be played. All of that said, they're boring, and so were the playoffs.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, I can see that, and I think collectively,
didn't love it.
Most of the media feel that way as well. It's weird because Boston and New York, LA, you know, Chicago, these major markets, even Golden State, right? Those are always big deals. And I think collectively everyone just shrugged their shoulders and was like, and they've moved on to free agency. I've seen as much national free agency stuff and the draft, which, by the way, the draft this year isn't that exciting nationally because there's not a lot of big prospects. I've never seen someone turn the page so quickly on a major market championship. You're acting as if like this is like the Charlotte Hornets winning an NBA title. It's weird.
There was a lot of coverage I thought this morning that I thought was overdone because it was Boston.
Yeah.
And a lot of these, you know, like ESPN, all these entities are back east. And so I felt like they were crowning them as if, you know, they're making a lot out of the 18th title thing, which I get. And it was I thought it was actually a little much. And I thought to myself, they would never cover a West Coast if the Blazers didn't have a true superstar like the Celtics and they won the title, they would not be covered the way Boston is being covered right now. I just think back east and the Celtics, it's a bigger market, bigger deal.
Well, it is 18.
Storied franchise.
It is breaking the record for most NBA championships.
Yeah,
ever.
so I mean, I view it a little differently. I don't think a lot of people turn the page. I think we're just bloviating about Boston, and rightly so. They're awesome. I just feel like one of the things that took away from the playoff run and just the championship is just the lack of superstars. I think it's why. It's why Dallas was always the focus, because they're the ones that have the controversial superstars. That's more interesting. There's more meat on that bone. There's more to sink your teeth into than Boston is like. They're just functional. They play well together. They're well built. Nobody bitch it. Like there's nothing to say. They were really good.
Celtics to the ball.
So that's why I think in the playoffs you mentioned the Warriors. You know, certainly the old, LeBron's championship. You need the superstars.
Yeah.
And that's not to take anything away from Boston, but I think it would just be more exciting for the sports world in general. It's more exciting when the superstars are there. It's no different than the U.S. Open with Rory and Bryson.
Yeah.
That's bigger and more talked about because it's those two and not Patrick Cantlay and Brian Harman.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's why I think it takes a little bit away from Boston, but.
See, and I think it takes a lot away from Boston. Like,
it doesn't
I just
bother me.
haven't seen. I mean, I guess I have read one or two things about, where does this team rank, all time and
dynasty,
dynasty and this and that. But
Bro.
largely, I didn't see it that way. Maybe we're just consuming different things. I didn't feel that there was a ton of buzz I didn't feel like a lot of people were really into this. It just kind of landed with a thud. I know a lot of people that didn't even watch the fourth quarter. They were like, yeah, man, I was checking in and it was a blowout, and I tuned back in a little bit and saw the championship and moved on. It was almost like this, I don't know, it was a foregone conclusion, and it felt like it was a foregone conclusion for most of the year. And to me, it's the opposite, that if you have a team that won 64 games in a major market and ran roughshod, lost 3 games in the NBA playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, right? 3? I don't know, man. I just think it would be treated differently. Or if Tatum or Brown or someone was really like a giant superstar. So again, I guess it's all in the eye of the beholder. To me, I look at Boston and I say, I don't know why that team isn't, like, everyone always claims that they don't want selfish basketball and we don't want star-driven ball. And yet when you get a team like this, no one really embraces it. Like, I thought the Golden State Warriors before Durant were a really likable team.
The Spurs were pretty
The Spurs
boring.
were boring. People hated watching San Antonio. And Boston, and you look at the way it was constructed, right? With drafts and then, shrewd moves and tough decisions and bringing in, quality second and third tier guys. When you look at the way that was assembled and being a very good team, but not getting over the hump, and then having Brad Stevens be able to tweak that and say, look, we're going to move out a defensive player of the year, argue the most popular player in Boston, giving Tatum and Brown that many years when that is, and I know it's different, but that's like some CJ and Dame stuff where after 6-7 years of something failing, and a lot of times someone just says, no, we're breaking this thing up. And they never wavered there in Boston. So many talking heads were calling for Brown to be shipped out of town and that there was 2 Robins and no Batman. I hate to defend Boston, but I just think I have a lot of respect for him. And I don't think that people are giving them necessarily their just due. I think it's a lot of, it's fine.
So we've got some audio of Jason Tatum.
He's corny as all get out.
Jason Tatum from last night, very performative. I compare him a little bit to LeBron James. LeBron James.
Everything is done knowing that the camera's on you.
Well, I honestly, and we'll play the audio. If you didn't hear Tatum, I love watching celebrations. Sports celebrations, whoever wins, I don't care what sport.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
A lot of confetti last night.
And
they blew the confetti budget.
I like to see what guys, say, how they're going to react. I mean, it's a very raw, emotional moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I seriously don't think some of these guys know how to feel when they win titles.
Yeah.
I really don't. And then what they do is they display behavior that they think we want to see or is acceptable when winning, or it's for social media, like Bryson.
Yeah.
But it's not genuine. And that was Jason Tatum last night.
It seemed very
I was
hokey.
really taken aback by how awkward that felt with him.
The whole thing.
Yeah,
all of it.
Felt desperate to be compared to other legends.
Yeah, it's
it was
just
very weird.
Weird. So we'll get to some of that audio coming up next on The Fan. right, Celtics win. Another title for Boston, which is insane. How many titles they have over the last 20 years?
It's been 6 long years since Boston celebrated a championship.
That's true. The last one was the Red Sox in 2018.
Felt so bad for that city. Although Boston, this is their 19th, right? 19th NBA record, or was it 18?
18.
NBA record.
I'm surprised you didn't know that, how much they've been cramming that
Well, that's
down.
why I was when I was like, was it 18 or 19? I was trying to remember. But, for all their success, now for Portland, it's been 40 plus years, but they've won 2 titles in 38 years. As far as the franchises go, it's not like the Celtics have been lighting the world on fire for the last 40 years.
That is true. But the city of Boston,
yeah, those douchers
will have another parade. So Jason Tatum, I always like to watch the celebrations. I think it's fun to, see reactions and raw moments, and like to catch athletes crying.
Raw moments, or in this case, what I believe to be fake raw moments,
manufactured moments.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think of Jason Tatum. Like, I didn't know much about him other than him as a player, and then I think you can tell a lot about a person when they win something this big, like Bryson's having his moment in golf, and Tatum certainly had his moment last night, and it's kind of interesting to see these guys in those raw moments, and it's a lot of times you get superstars are born out of moments like this. Like, people really they just relate to a guy and find out more about him, and then all of a sudden stories are written on him, and he's getting all these endorsement deals, and he's everywhere because he won a title, and everybody likes him now.
Yeah.
Tatum, I was wondering if that would happen with him, but after watching all that celebration last night, he is a cheeseball. Like, he is corny as hell, dude. And I don't really understand what he was trying to do, but we've got some audio, and you can decide for yourself.
Yeah.
So every single thing he said was a ripoff of someone else.
Yeah, it was just preordained. He was doing bits like it smacked of Alex Rodriguez, trying very hard to be There's nothing worse than someone pretending to be spontaneous and failing miserably.
It's like the thought out touchdown celebrations.
Yes.
It used to be awesome when we thought it was kind of off the cuff, and then you realize guys are planning this weeks in advance, and you're like, dude, what is this? This isn't natural.
It's a little weird.
So do you remember Kevin Garnett?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember him?
Yep.
Boston Celtic legend who did this after they won the title in 08.
I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
And if you don't know, and I've got a buddy of mine who works at Adidas who was in charge of that campaign. They built an entire campaign around Kevin Garnett. And it was
impossible
is nothing. And that was the whole thing.
Not
You
to
have,
him.
you have one thing to say.
The moment he said it, I'm like, he botched his own apparel tagline.
And the best is when my buddy called him out on it. I can't say what Garnett's response was. Garnett had a very inappropriate thing that he would say when it just is like a jab at someone. That was his response when he's like, seriously, dude. Like, national TV, you had one chance. And Garnett was like, blanket.
All right, so here's Garnett again.
I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
And here's Tatum.
It's a surreal feeling. We did it. We did it! Oh, my God, we did it.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe you should give him the benefit of the doubt and it's not that bad, but God, it feels awkward.
It's like he thinks it would be cool for someone else to place those side by side and say, look at how he did it just like that other guy. And that's kind of lame.
So do you remember Corey Seager?
Yes.
Texas Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Just won the
World Series champ.
I just got one thing to say. Everybody was wondering what would happen if the Rangers didn't win the World Series. I guess we'll never know.
That was at the team parade or whatever.
Get ready to hear this.
I know everybody will wonder what would happen if we didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
Even his delivery just...
And that was Tatum last night.
It's like Steven Seagal
Say
in a movie.
one original thing.
And can we not be so wooden?
Wasn't there more Didn't he have a couple of other things that he was?
So not so much what he was saying, but
Yeah,
like
the
he
pose.
he posed with the trophy like Kobe did.
Yeah.
He posed pouring champagne on himself like Chris Bosh did. So it's like he's getting he's copying the visual imagery as well as the sound bites.
Look,
So performative. It's just weird. Why do you think that is?
I just think I think for a lot of people, the spotlight is uncomfortable, which is also why I don't think you hear a lot from Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum's good. Like, whether he's a top 5 guy, he's a first-team All-NBA guy, but there's guys that seek that out. Like, when Cam Newton comes into the NFL and says, I'm here to build a brand, there are guys that absolutely seek that out. Shaq never met a camera that he didn't like, right? Like, all of those things. Kobe loved playing up the Mamba mentality. God, he'd get all aroused doing that. It was like his thing. And Tatum's not one of those guys, but you get to this moment and you got some sponsors in your ear and you just finally got over the hump and someone's going to finally start giving you your credit. And it's like, hey, this is my moment. And if you're not comfortable in that spotlight, you don't automatically get comfortable. And I think you see a guy there who is, again, trying to be spontaneous, trying not to be awkward. Here's that guy on a date that's like, don't be awkward, don't be awkward, don't be awkward. And then like the first thing out of his mouth is the most cringe thing. It reminds me of that. And I even like the posing with the trophy. Like, I've never been in that situation, but how do you act when you know that there's a million cameras on you?
Well, I think you've already overthought it.
Yeah.
You just won the title.
But that's the thing. I think
be yourself.
I think there's a lot of people that just,
Well,
you said
obviously.
be yourself. That doesn't work.
That's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clear that Tatum is uncomfortable, and he
Yes.
had to come up with a bunch of bits, and he felt like that was the right thing to do. The better thing to do, even if you are uncomfortable, is just be like Jokic.
Yeah.
Remember Jokic last year?
He was like,
He's like, whatever. Yeah, when's my flight?
He's like, the parade's when? I have to get back to my horses.
I got
what are we doing?
horses to go to. Yeah, it's great. But like I said, I think a lot of people are just uncomfortable in their skin. Like, the easiest thing you can tell anyone is be yourself, and yet very few people can. You know who I think does a good job of that? And again, he's not an exciting guy. I don't think his interviews were like mind blowing. Jason, for God's sakes, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown had a couple curse words in there, and
It
again,
seems pretty genuine.
he's not a big bombastic personality, but I thought when you saw Brown, I thought that was him. Derek White, on the other hand, has a great personality, and he was out there talking about the chipped teeth and all that, and he's
So
got a
why
bigger-
were those guys not trying so hard then? I mean, it's
'cause
just
when
so
you're-
Tatum is just that he's either that insecure or he really. And I really think this happens in sports. We think these guys care way more about titles than they do. Some of them.
It's possible.
And I think especially in basketball, the sport lends itself to an individual nature, right? I mean, Jason Tatum has probably always been good at basketball.
Yes.
And he's been so good at it that it became his life, his career. That doesn't necessarily mean he's always dreamed of winning titles. I mean, he got paid. Not everybody has the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Tiger Woods killer instinct. And I think what happens, particularly in today's day and age with social media, and they know everybody's watching them and all that, and they're very conscious of that. Guys like Tatum who don't like, I don't know how much that meant to him last night. I'm sure it was great. It's quite a journey. But it's not like Jordan who's just who gave so much that he just slumps over crying.
Yeah.
Because he didn't lose, right? Some of those guys, it means more to them that they didn't lose than they won.
Lanning
That's
talked
how
about that.
competitive they are.
Yeah.
And that is visceral. That is natural. That is like, wow, I want to see those guys in the moment. And we assume that all of these guys that win these titles, because it's so hard to do what they're doing, we assume that they all have that, and they just don't.
Nah.
And I don't think Tatum has it.
Yeah.
And I think that showed with his contrived, corny celebration. I think it was more of a hey, here's what I think you want to see out of me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you what I think you want to see out of me, rather than just show you that where's my kid? Let's get out of here.
I think there's a lot to be said. I think you have a lot of truth in there. And it's interesting that, like, Vancouver 4 text line, we're getting on one hand, he's the NBA version of Dangerous, which is I think that's pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I think Russell Wilson suffers from that more than anyone else. And then one weird stance to take, they didn't celebrate good.
Broncos
orange, let's ride.
It's not. Well, I guess it kind of is.
It just was. It was weird. It felt strange and it felt unauthentic. And and that's what I'm
contrived.
saying. Yeah, we
and
all can smell authentic. You can, like, you know it when you see it. Like you said, the Jordan thing, the outpouring of emotion, the crying in the shower with the trophy, and at the same time, Jokic. That's beyond authentic. I don't care. I've got horses. And then when you see Tatum's, it just, what do they say? The truth sounds different. And it's the same thing with genuine emotion. And so, yeah, I'm with you. I think there were a lot of people watching that last night, you and me both in this camp, that it just felt weird.
I also feel like it's kind of a reflection of how the media covers the NBA right now. It was everyone is like comparing him to former stars. Is he the greatest Celtics since Garnett? How much is he like Kobe? Does he have that mentality? Like, those are the things we talk about in basketball media, and it's like he's trying to feed it back to the cycle. It's really odd.
But that's the real bitch of the situation. Like, you fight all this time to get your kudos, right? You fight through all this adversity. You get there, you have a dominant run, you win the title, and yet it's still like people are like, kind of a
they don't care about that.
Still don't really like you.
It's like when restaurants sing "Happy Birthday" to you.
Yeah,
says someone on the text.
That's another good one. Yeah, it's not
right.
Like,
it doesn't feel authentic. You don't even know me.
You don't wish me a happy birthday.
You and your flair having to stop what you're doing and go sing "Happy Birthday" to me.
I'm sure you don't want me to have a bad birthday, but does it really matter to you that I'm having a happy birthday?
Tatum. Yeah. All right. Well, the Celtics.
I'm happy that they got one, though. I am.
Oh,
this
I could care less.
I think this is a good team.
They're
put
fun
together,
to watch.
and they play the right way. And I would have hated to have seen, had they lost that, just the crap that would have come their way. And I'm glad that those two guys and the rest of the team, I'm glad they got one.
The Celtics Twitter kept receipts. We'll get to that next on The Fan.
Oh, he's got denture money. Get those posts put in there. And his was just chipped.
Do you think if we went to Rory McIlroy right now and said, "Hey, Rory, we're going to give you that U.S. Open. You won that, but we have to take all your teeth." Is he doing it?
Depends on how those come out. Like, you got to do like Marathon Man, like Nazi dentist style, or do I get to get put under? My old O-line coach in Tampa Bay, it was really awkward, but his whole thing was, because he was in the NFL for a long time, never won a Super Bowl. And so when they were making that run, he used to say all the time that he would put his on a table and let someone chop it off. And I think he meant it. Like, he would always say that, like, as the season wore on and into the playoffs. And I was like, Bill, this is getting weird, buddy. I kind of feel like I was waiting for one meeting for it to come out. Like, I really thought at one point he was going to whip it out and put it on the table. But yeah, there's always one of those, like, if you've been around a long time, what would you do to win a title? And
you want to hear Mike Vrabel talk about it? Because I've got that.
Oh, this is Vrabel?
Would you cut your off for a Super Bowl?
Oh, been married 20 years. Yeah, probably.
You've got 3.
As a player. I guess I'll be married for 20 years one day.
Yeah, I love that. I'll be married 20 years probably.
By the way, I'm telling you, those old football guys, they're not kidding.
Yeah.
I think he's like, kids, whatever.
Competitive.
They're like, you already have 3. He's like, yeah, not as a coach.
Yeah, I want that.
See, Jason Tatum wouldn't do that.
No, I don't think
think
Tatum's
so.
cutting anything off.
No.
But Brown was happy to give up the teeth.
Yeah.
He had that nice crooked smile going.
Yeah.
Dude,
that
dude,
was
a nasty face plant.
Even my wife commented, she was like, he has such a nice smile. Like, well, he got his teeth knocked out or his tooth chipped there.
Yeah.
She's like, oh.
He should leave that and do the Lloyd Christmas.
Yeah.
Just leave the chipped tooth and a little source of pride.
So Celtics Twitter, of course, has to bow up.
Oh, yeah.
And they just said, we kept the receipts, and they played this little video.
I'm going to tell you today, I got the Dallas Mavericks.
I think there's going to be a parade in Dallas.
Who'd you guys really beat, though? Who'd you really beat?
I have Dallas. I think Dallas will win.
So obviously I'm going with Dallas.
Dallas. I got Dallas winning. I think Dallas is deeper.
I don't think Boston is deep at all.
I like Dallas in this series.
It's an easy choice for me. Dallas.
The Boston Celtics have not seen anything
Despite the fact that
close
Boston
to what
numerically
the
is the
Dallas
best team in the
Mavericks
league,
are
I don't
going.
know
The
that
two
anyone
best
has
players on
fear.
this floor will be Luka and Kyrie.
You're just a very good team that could get to the finals but won't win it.
But it's no longer what could be or what might be. Now it just is.
And then watching this past week when Boston sweeps Dallas or something like that, we got to sit here and be like, well, I guess we were wrong.
Boy, I didn't realize all those people had picked Dallas.
Yeah, a lot of people picked Dallas.
I didn't either. There were a lot of people saying how many media pundits picked the Mavericks. I'm like, really? Celtics were minus 200 favorites going into the series, but I guess a lot of the media really thought they're going to win that.
Huh. 64 wins. They'd lost twice all playoffs, and we really thought that the Mavericks were going to do it. I mean,
well, I thought the Mavericks were a good play I thought, again, the Skip said it in there, but you could make the case that they had the 2 best players in the series.
Yeah, well, except did anyone foresee one of them not showing up? I mean, for all of Kyrie's rehab that he did on his reputation, and good for him, boy, he sure sucked. He had one game, where he showed up. And for all the Luka hate, that guy played hurt and was still a phenomenal player. And still got drug after game 3. Like, dude, he was great. That was a one-man team against the Celtics, and it was obviously not enough. I just didn't realize all those people picked him. Where's Dion to be? I love that. You doubted us. Although Boston actually probably Boston probably has a legitimate reason to have a chip on their shoulder because people
up, boss? You believe now? I read
didn't
through
get
that bull
credit
junk
all
you
year.
wrote.
Yeah, you want to hear some of that? Because we have that too. Believe me, they put a compilation of that together.
Just a kid from Akron, right?
In one game, Giannis and Dame were more compatible and have less redundancy than the 7-year career of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Ask yourself this. Name the last great NBA champion that was bad at home in the playoffs. There's nothing to fear about the Celtics. Nobody fears the Celtics. Nobody's afraid to go into the Garden. Certainly not Miami.
They win games on talent, Ernie. They don't win on toughness and defense.
Which team are you hearing could win a championship that you just don't see it?
Overrated, Boston.
Wow. Boston.
We wouldn't see the Boston Celtics having the kind of as great as they've been. We wouldn't see them playing this way or having the kind of problem they have with Ime Udoka as their coach.
They are becoming the Buffalo Bills. I'm sorry.
7:59.
In the last 30 years, Boston has been irrelevant in basketball history.
You want to say Boston out the East, but they never can get it done. I just don't have no faith in them. The it factor, they don't have it. Whatever it is, they don't have it. Don't go no. I have to say Milwaukee or Miami is who I would pick in the series. I believe Giannis and Dame are closers, and they can use a lot of fouls. And Jimmy, Bam, and Spo, nobody has more experience than them.
Can Tatum and Brown get it done together?
No.
Why not?
I said too much of the same player. They don't complement each other enough.
That's Kawhi.
Who is their leader? Who is their go-to
Or,
guy?
I'm sorry, Beverly.
Who is the guy who brings it home? Jason Tatum is the guy that's supposed to lead them.
Yep.
And I just have not seen it. I've consistently seen it the other way. Jaylen Brown wants to be that guy.
A lot of it out there.
But doesn't quite have the game to be that
Rick
guy.
Bucher.
The other Joe Mazzulla who just stands over there, and you wonder, like, if you take his brain out and you put it in the bird is going to start flying out.
I would take Anthony Edwards over Jason Tatum right now in a heartbeat.
I don't know who the dogs are for the Boston Celtics. I don't see that from Tatum and Brown. I know that they're immensely talented. They're all NBA caliber guys. But I don't see them elevate themselves and elevate their teammates. It's very strange when I look at the Boston Celtics. Like, just how they rely on winning basketball games worries me when it comes to playoffs. They're a team that falls in love with shooting jump shots. I don't know that they have that person that is going to grab this team by the throat.
The identity is the issue here. They're having an identity crisis when the games matter most the last 2 years, because if Coach Udoka was on the squad coaching this team, they take on his identity, his tenacity.
I'm taking Minnesota over Boston with where we are now.
In this finals, they will have the two best players in the finals, Luka and Kyrie.
I'll take Derek Lively over Porzingis. Me personally.
The Celtics do not have 3 or 4 guys that can guard Luka. I like Dallas in this series.
Who do you have winning the whole darn thing?
Dallas. I got Dallas winning. I think Dallas is deeper.
We got the Mavs in 6 in Dallas.
I'm going Dallas. Okay. Also, Luka, MVP in 6.
What duo would you rather have in the NBA Finals?
Luka and Kyrie. In 1.5 seasons, Kyrie and Luka have meshed better than Jalen and Jason have after 6 seasons.
It just keeps going.
They haven't been battle tested. I don't know if that's a good thing to get battle tested in the finals. I don't know if you want to get battle tested in the finals. I don't know if you want to be battle tested by Denver or Minnesota or one of those teams. That might be too late to get battle tested.
Who has the early edge in the series? Mavs, Celtics? Mavs. I'm going to the team that has the 2 best superstars. I'm taking Kyrie, and I am taking Luka.
OKC and Denver and Minnesota, they don't play defense like that.
And the
but
Celtics
let's just
put
say
this all
those 3
together.
teams.
This one was
This was the Celtics Twitter account.
No, this was Barstool.
Barstool was just
the way they're
aggregating
playing
it.
offense, Boston will get swept.
It's the sense of urgency, right? It's the laid back being.
It's like
cool,
all the
Jason
talking
Tatum
heads, too.
saying,
Never-
people
yes.
don't expect us to lose games. Well, we don't, and I'm waiting on this Jason Tatum moment, right? We've been talking about Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell. When are we going to talk about Jason Tatum? What point do you stop and say, you know what? Let's figure something else out. You do realize, Jay, and you know this. You never know who's watching. You have NBA scouts in the stands. The Celtics are showing that they're vulnerable. They need to be playing their best basketball going into the postseason. Right now, I don't think it's anybody in the Eastern Conference that's fearing the Boston Celtics. I really don't. I really, really don't.
And there you have
Wow. That is such a great supercut. Well,
That was 5 minutes.
Dude, it's unbelievable. The amount of just dragging of the 64-win Boston Celtics.
Once again, the sports media knows nothing.
I love it. Dude, the Mavericks were the 5 seed. How the hell is Kyrie and Luka gelled more than Tatum and Brown?
So that was put together by an account called Celtics Unite.
Oh, okay.
God, that's amazing.
As somebody mentioned, not one time was Drew Holiday's name in there.
No.
Not one
Not
time.
one time. And by the way, Drew Holiday now has been the missing link in 2 separate championships. Like,
He's awesome, man.
Give that guy his props. Dude, Drew Holiday is freaking awesome. And just all the moves that Stevens made, because obviously he didn't bring in Tatum and Brown, but he brought in Porzingis, he brought in White, he brought in Horford, who, by the way, old ass Al Horford out there getting it done. And then, of course, bringing in Holiday. So that's just give Brad Stevens some love, too. And I love how, too, they were mocking Missoula, talking about Ime Udoka as if
they could remove his brain from his head.
The hell has Udoka ever done besides sleep with married women? What? What do you mean? Like, they would take on Udoka's personality. They won 64 games without him. That just... Boy, I guess you just need something to talk about on the national shows.
Did you guys see the conspiracy theory on the Vancouver Ford text line?
What do you got?
It says, my friend has a conspiracy that the reason for all the pundit Mavericks love is from the gambling sponsors wanting to get more losing bets. Vegas nailed it. Lowest odds were Game 5. So basically, that if they get all those people out there, like the Shams of the world, talking about, oh yeah, Celtics got a chance, they earn more Mavericks tickets, and they know the Mavericks are losing anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it.
Wait, what? He's saying that the media conspired to drum up Dallas bets?
Yes,
because all their casino sponsors wanted more action on the Mavericks, knowing they didn't have as good a chance.
Yeah.
Like, we all thought, like, I just assumed that everyone was like, yeah, it's the Celtics, because there's no other reason why. The Celtics are the balls.
Well, we talked about this when the line first came out, Buck. I think it was just you and I on the show. Remember, we were both liking the Mavs. I fell into the same trap.
I think it was like plus 185 when it first came out.
Well, we looked at the line and we were like, wow, I really like Dallas because one of the reasons I like Dallas was because of the line was so long. It's like, wow, we say Vegas. The sports books made Boston a pretty heavy favorite.
Yeah.
And I think that's what surprised me was like, wow, I think this might be closer.
You got some value.
There's some value on Dallas. But just looking at it through that lens, the sports books are not often wrong. You know? And they don't misprice things. And so that was the first sign that Boston was that much better than Dallas when they laid Boston minus 250 in the whole series.
Yeah, remember, when someone's a heavy favorite like that, they're trying to get action going on Dallas. And wouldn't that be great if there's some leak internal memos telling all the ESPN heads, look, you sons of bitches better start picking Dallas and picking them now.
I went in on that.
Hell yeah, man. Moving some lines. Shams is doing it, allegedly.
Conspiracy worked on Rob.
All right. We'll wrap up Celtics talk next. It's 425 on the Fan.
The
news in moments. Wrapping up super hot Celtics of the Bulls talk. We do need to mention that another Duck is a pro sports champion.
Yes, and Boston hero. I guess those half-court shots have turned him into
They love him.
Yeah, I mean, no one seems to care about him around here, but in Boston, he's the balls.
Yeah, those shots are going to definitely go on the championship DVD, and that's what he'll be remembered by in that era for a while.
I don't remember if it was Mark Stein. Someone I was listening today, and he was saying that he was in the building, and he goes, I swear, he was there for both of the Pritchard half-court shots. He goes, I've never heard it louder. He said it was like the place goes effing bananas for that kid.
Peyton Pritchard becomes the 5th ever Oregon Duck to win the NBA championship. We talked about this on Friday with Joey, but there's a guy by the name of Jim Loskatoff.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but
Yeah.
he played in the 60s with Bill Russell. He won 7 rings.
Yeah, we had never heard of him before.
But he's a Duck.
Yeah.
Greg Ballard, Jordan Bell, and Chris Boucher.
Although I don't think, did Boucher play? I
No.
think he was just.
He did not.
He was just
but he
there.
was on the
He was on
championship
the squad.
Toronto Raptors roster.
Whereas Pritchard played, and not a huge part of it, but nice little role player for them. And that's the thing about Boston is there just isn't not a lot of weakness on that team. That is a really, really well constructed team, and it just reminds me a little bit of the those Piston teams, where not necessarily star players. You can debate Tatum and Brown, very, very good, borderline, maybe truly elite, but just not a lot of weaknesses, and played team ball, and we'll see if they can keep it going. I think it's been 7 years since we've had a repeat champion, although Vegas has already put Boston as the prohibitive favorite next year.
You betting on them?
No, you look at, they're already a second apron team, so there's not going to be a lot of movement that they're going to be able to do. Porzingis, is facing several months with that, and he's hurt all the time. Al Horford's 1,000 years old, for God's sakes. You're going to need an entire new front line. I hate to do it, but Boston had a very easy path. And next year you would assume that Dame's actually going to be in shape and Giannis is going to be healthy. New York should be retooled and when they get healthy. New York is a very good team. And, whether it's Dallas, whoever coming out of the West, I just think there's going to be a tougher row, and there's a reason why teams don't repeat. Also, look at you look at Tatum and some of these, they are going right into the Olympics. We know the hangover that comes from winning NBA titles, and some of these guys are right back at it or dealing with injuries and rehab. Look at Denver and just how sloppy they came out of the gates. And after they lost, I don't remember if it was Gordon, I think it was Aaron Gordon, said, God, I can't tell you how tired I am. You're just exhausted. And none of these guys have won titles before, with the exception of what Holiday, he's won one, right? So I just think that the inexperience of that and just the fatigue that's going to happen with some of the Team USA stuff, which is Holiday and Tatum, and just the kind of the whirlwind offseason you're going to have, it's really hard to keep that razor's edge.
So here's every year since 2001 in Boston. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
2001, the Patriots won the title. 2002, nothing.
Yeah.
03, Patriots. 04, Patriots. 04, Red Sox. 05 and 06, nothing. 07, Red Sox. 08, Celtics. 09, 2010, nothing. 11, Bruins. 12, nothing. 13, Red Sox. 14, Patriots. 15, nothing. 16, Patriots. 17, nothing. 18, Patriots. 18, Red Sox. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, nothing.
So up until that last run,
And 24
there
Celtics.
was no gap greater than 3 years.
Greater than 2 years.
2 years. And then I thought there was a 3, and then that gap at the end. Good
Yep.
Lord,
Isn't that crazy?
Boston.
So from 2001 to 2018, they had the same number of years with the title as without. From one of their pro sports teams. It's just insane.
We're sitting around 1970s.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even fathom.
Hey, you got the Timbers and the Thorns. Huh? Did the Lumberjacks win anything? Hey, don't discount the Timbers and Thorns. All right?
Okay.
Does Boston have an MLS team?
No.
Well, then look.
The New England Revolution, right?
Oh, have they won?
They do.
Have they won anything?
I don't know.
I didn't include them.
I was just trying to think of do we have anything that we can hold over Boston's head? I mean,
Well, we were going to be Boston of the West Coast. You remember that?
Yeah,
the name.
Yeah, we flipped a
came
coin,
down to
right?
Boston and Portland, and we got Portland. Thank God.
Yeah. Although, we'd be saying the exact opposite. If we were Boston, then we'd be the balls. I'm looking
The
here.
Celtics are the balls.
If Boston had won the coin flip and Portland had been named Boston, would Portland have 18 championships?
Or would Portland get trashed even harder because they're nothing like
'Cause they're
Boston
nothing
championship
like-
wise?
yeah.
At least Portland, Maine doesn't
Yeah.
have a lot to write home about.
Yeah, because it wasn't like, it wasn't like one was going to be named. Like we were going to be Boston also. We'd be, Portland, Maine. We would, it's a good thing because we'd be mocked.
I think that's right.
It would be bad. We would because now we got Portland, Maine, and whatever. What do you got besides some covered bridges and like a haunted gazebo? Get out of here. Get some syrup. But like if we were Boston, oh my God, we would just get mocked at every turn for being like the loser. We'd be like, what is it? We'd be the Hunter Biden or the Billy Carter. Like that'd be us. We're like, oh, that's adorable. Look at you guys. We'd be the idiot relative that can't get their S together.
All right, well, I'm sure they're having a field day on Boston radio today.
I guarantee half of those people are finding reasons why this isn't that impressive.
Mildly racist remarks probably somewhere in there.
Yeah, someone said, go figure with Peyton Pritchard, a little white point guard with a buzz cut. I can't believe he's popular in Boston.
He does look like he's from Boston.
Yes, he does. Yeah. Like if he was Joe Mazzulla loves the town. You could put Peyton Pritchard in like Jeremy Renner's role in that and it would fit perfectly.
Yeah.
Whose car are we going to take?
Dropping his ahs and he'd be just fine. They're giving someone a shiv.
All right, let's move on to In the News. But first, Buck with SportsCenter.
Now,
Celtics. Who cares?
Are you kidding me?
The Celtics are the ball.
Now on to the important stuff.
Yeah, let's get to it.
June 18, 2024. It is time for In the News. I am your noted newsman. Hello, thank you. Today is International Sushi Day.
Oh, I was at a sushi place this afternoon.
Well, you picked a good day.
I did not eat it, though. Just a meeting, and everyone was eating lunch, but I did not.
Dealing drugs out of there?
Yeah, big Odyssey meeting around drugs. Now it is a little early for me. I don't like to eat that early, because then But I can't work out on a full stomach. Doesn't work.
Try this.
So what we got?
Don't work out.
That is one way to do it.
That's my plan.
I like it.
International Picnic Day as well, so let's all have a picnic.
When's the last time you had a picnic?
Been a long time.
Yeah. The one of the starters out at one of the courses we played, Coyote Moon in Tahoe. He was being all folksy because it's all out in the the high desert country out there, and he dropped a "Say hi to Yogi and Boo Boo for me" as we went off. A nice picnic reference there.
Well, that'd be nice if you were playing near Jellystone Park, but you weren't.
No.
All right, so big news today up your way there.
Oh, yeah.
I-5, northbound lanes of I-5 still closed north of the Fremont Bridge.
Yep.
This was it was a truck carrying 120 propane tanks.
Yeah, that's not what you want.
And it caught fire just short of 5 a.m. this morning. It was right near the Swan Island exit there.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
On the northbound side of the freeway. And so they closed I-5 in both directions before the southbound lanes reopened at 6 a.m. Now it is still closed northbound up there. So if you're having to get up to Vancouver from Portland today, take 84.
Yeah, you don't want anything to do with I-5.
Well, you're not even getting through there.
No.
I think they're using one lane of southbound
to get through. Well, I mean,
to push people through.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, coming here, I came up usual route going south, and I didn't have many problems. It was a little slow, but it wasn't bad going south.
So they had some exploding canisters.
Yeah, the video's kind of crazy.
It is wild. Yeah, they're saying they had to do it. It damaged the roadway, so they had to do emergency grinding and paving, which is why it's taken so long.
I'm assuming that when one of those cans, if the zombie movies have taught me anything, is when the propane can blows. Yeah, I'm assuming that's going to do some road damage.
Yeah, you can hear the explosions in several videos shared on the news.
Yeah, Sprague said
no injuries.
I was listening to Sprague, and I guess he got off like at the very last second. He was going, and he was about to get screwed, getting caught in it, and last second he was able to swerve and go the other way and go around it. Because if you get stuck in that, now obviously there's all the closures, but if you get stuck in the middle of something like that, there's probably some people sitting there for hours.
They do not know what caused the tanks to catch fire, but they're like those little tanks like you have on your grill in your backyard.
Yeah,
there were a bunch of those.
Well, they didn't. And again, maybe I'm misreading this, but when I saw the story, they said that when they got there was no vehicle attached to the trailer or anything. So did someone have like an OS moment and just bail on it, or did it come loose from someone's trailer? Because obviously someone drove them there, and then oops, it came loose.
Yeah, because it was they were all on a trailer.
Yeah, and so the trailer was there going kablooey, but
maybe the guy, I don't know, is it?
Well, that's what I wonder. If one of two things happened, either you're driving along and you didn't have it secured very well, the trailer hitch came off the ball, and then you're like, oh my god, and you look back and you see it blow, and you're like, holy crap, or it starts to blow and the guy's like, I'm out of here, ditches the trailer and zooms off. Either way, I find it a little concerning that the guy who was responsible for bringing him there just seems to be gone.
They are investigating.
Yes.
Up next, Alaska Airlines has added 2 new nonstop destinations from Portland.
Oh.
You want to guess where they are?
Hopefully someplace.
You like one of them.
Hopefully someplace cool.
Huh? I guess you'll find out next, won't you?
All right.
It is 4:47 on The Fan.
This is The Fan's Window into Sports, a view into today's top stories, brought to you by Window Nation.
in a bit. 2 new nonstop flights from Alaska Airlines.
Okay.
At PDX. You know, Alaska is the #1 carrier at PDX.
That's why we have the Alaska credit card.
We don't necessarily have many good direct flights, in my humble opinion.
Not from Portland.
No. It sucks when you have to go to LA or Seattle to,
The Seattle one is the worst.
Yeah.
To me.
Because it's so close, but it's just far enough you're not going to drive up there.
Exactly.
Far enough just to be a pain in the ass.
Well, it takes forever just to fly 35 minutes.
I know.
You know.
Yep.
All the
It almost, by the time you have to get there, go through security, deboard, all that, it's almost as much time as it would take to drive, but
Correct.
it's not quite. So,
Correct.
yeah, it's the worst.
Pretty annoying. Portland, though, Alaska being its largest carrier for more than 20 years, they have added Portland to Atlanta direct.
A little ATL. I got nothing against the Dirty Bird South.
And ATL is a good hub for everything else down there.
I don't go to Atlanta much, but all right.
That'll start this fall. And the other one, the 55th city that Portland will fly nonstop to, beginning in January, is New Orleans.
Now we're talking.
Oh, baby.
Now.
New Orleans.
When did you say this
Guys,
Now we're talking.
January.
Okay.
Yeah.
No offense to the Celtics, but New Orleans is the balls.
Yeah, it is.
I know you're a big Vegas guy, but this will kill. I'm not going to Vegas. I'll take my direct flight and head to New Orleans. Love the Crescent City.
So Kevin Dolliole, if I'm pronouncing that right, is the director of aviation for New Orleans International Airport, and he said, "We are thrilled that Alaska Airlines is launching nonstop service from New Orleans to Portland. Portland has been the top unserved destination from New Orleans. And this new route not only strengthens the connection between our vibrant cities, but also underscores our commitment to enhancing the travel experience for our community and visitors alike."
Well, I love it because I try to get to New Orleans, and one of the things that keeps me from going there more
it's hard to get there.
It's hard to get
Yep.
there. It sucks.
You got to go through Houston or Atlanta or something else.
It is a pain in the ass to connect.
So now
this is good news.
This says
Right
so
in
the
time for
flight
Mardi Gras.
the flight will leave Portland at 9 in the morning and get there at 3:30 because you lose a couple hours. Or is it East Coast? It's not East Coast.
I think it's East Coast.
Central time?
I think it's East Coast.
Is it?
Let me look.
And then you can leave New Orleans at 4:30.
Central time, you're right.
Central time, yeah. So you lose 2 hours, but you can get there at 3:30, and then 4:30 is the flight out, and you get home at 7:50. Yeah. So it's a pretty good time.
Tasty.
So you can get a whopping 1 hour in New Orleans if you like. Or a day. It's pretty much a day.
Yeah.
If you want to do that, do it that way. But
if you've never been, highly recommend it. New Orleans is one of those cities that as soon as you get there, you will either fall in love with it or you'll go ick.
Well, it's kind of gross, but I don't know how you couldn't fall in love with it. It's awesome. New Orleans is awesome.
I do know some people that it's just they can't.
Well, it's dirty.
Yes.
I mean, it's grungy.
Yes.
But it's such a cool city with history and
I think it's a little like San Francisco in that way,
culture.
where if you're in the wrong parts, it feels really dirty and gross, but there's a lot of great culture all around everywhere else.
Kind of smells.
Yeah, well, in the quarter, it does. Yeah, there certainly is an odor, but I will give them this. They clean that place. It is amazing. If you're out anywhere in the French Quarter, especially on Bourbon Street, go look at that thing at like 3:30 in the morning. And you're like, it's a war zone. And if you wake up at 7:30 and go out, that place is spotless. Which also blows my mind why we can't clean crap up here. Like, if New Orleans can clean up the French Quarter after a Saturday night, we can't clean our city.
Well, we do. It just takes 6 months.
It's embarrassing.
You know.
But yeah, it is my favorite city for that reason. I do not think there is another city that has anywhere near just the personality, the culture, and the vibe, from the food to the music to the voodoo stuff to the just one of my favorite bars down there. It's the oldest bar in America, the Lafayette's Blacksmith. It's the oldest bar. The foundation has been there, since the 1700s.
He'll get a hurricane slushie there.
It's freaking awesome.
And that's your news for June 18, 2024. The Hot 5 at 5, top 5 sports stories of the day, coming up next on 1080 The Fan.
A slow network is no network for business. That's why more choose Comcast Business. And now we're introducing Ultimate Speed
Hope you're having a nice little Tuesday. It's your Sports Bros. Rop, some call me Isachi. Big Souk right over there.
I'm just here.
We've got Ryan Buckley back. Wow. He has tender ball sack.
That's right, I do.
But he is not with hand, foot, and mouth disease.
No. Do you have a little...
Not according to me, maybe according to Souk.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with Buckley for at least the next 6 to 7 days.
Sure.
I'm gonna need to keep a distance.
And I don't blame you for that. At least there's a nice piece of glass between us.
Yeah. Do you have to sit on a pillow?
No.
You got a little donut?
No, I do not. My wife had one from post-pregnancy that she offered me, but I didn't feel like I needed it.
No. Look at Buckley toughing it out.
Yeah.
He's a man.
That's right.
Strong balls.
Grundle thumper in there.
Yeah.
He's in there getting it done.
So, according to internet, and I did try to corroborate this because a texter was poo-pooing your oldest bar in the U.S. story.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you call it? Blacksmith Tavern?
Lafitte's Blacksmith?
Yep.
Lafitte's in New Orleans. They say that bar opened between 1722 and 1732.
Mm-hmm.
The oldest bar in the United States is in Newport, Rhode Island, called the White Horse Tavern, established in the year of our Lord, 1673.
Oh, really? Right the hell out of town.
How about that?
And see, I was told when I went to Boston that the Bell in Hand, where Paul Revere used to drink, was the oldest bar, I thought, in America as well. So feels like a lot of people have this claim out there.
Yeah, flags! Yeah, because I'm looking it up. Lafayette says that it is reputed to be the oldest structure used as a bar in the United States.
You go. That's different.
Is it?
Yes.
So what does that mean?
Well, that means that it wasn't a bar originally.
Uh-huh.
It's the oldest building used as a bar, whereas the White Horse Tavern was a bar before that was a bar.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
I think is what I...
so we're using some... Okay.
And the Bell in Hand in Boston is the oldest tavern in America, been working for over 200 years.
Oh, well.
Well, wait. What about the White Horse Tavern?
I don't know. I'm just reading from the
Where did
Bell
you
in
come up
Hand.
with this bull crap?
Let's see, bellinhand.com. So, it's their own fake news probably.
There is an entire... If you go to the New Orleans, commerce page, there's an entire page dedicated to is Lafayette's Blacksmith Shop the oldest bar in the country? New Orleans Truths versus Tales. So I'm guessing that there's a lot of people that want their bar to be the oldest bar.
And they just... no one's going to check you on it. Just say it.
Look.
It's like, hey, we have the best burger in town here. Do you?
We're Portland sports leaders, for God's sakes.
That's right.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means either, but we lead.
It does seem that most sources now have the White Horse Tavern 1673 as the
that's
oldest.
a long-ass time ago.
That is a long-ass time. Well, I've never been there, but I've been to the Blacksmith many a time, and it's a great bar, and in the back there's a cool little piano guy that goes back and plays, and it's open till I don't think it closes.
You can amend your statement and say it's the oldest
structure
building that has a bar.
It's the oldest structure used as a bar in the United States.
That's an old-ass building.
It is an old-ass
building. So how old's the building then? That's the question.
Yeah, it was built in the early... And again, this is all reported. It was built somewhere around 1722.
Well, then it wouldn't be the oldest building with the bar. It would have to be... whatever.
I don't know.
You know what? Who cares?
This is directly from the commerce page of New Orleans.
What I can tell you is that I have a friend, Dana, who is semi-retired, who has a Sprinter van, one of those awesome vans.
Yes.
And she goes around the country, and she will go to the oldest. She's trying to have a drink in the oldest bar in every state.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's a great bit.
Yeah.
And I think she's up to maybe 30, 32, somewhere in there. So I'll have to ask her if
that's pretty kick-ass.
She's been to Louisiana.
There's something great about going into an old bar. It's everyone's like, oh, it's haunted. It's been there forever. And the idea of pirates going there and drinking and heading out to sea. It's
oldest bar in Oregon.
That's kick-ass. I don't know.
Okay, more Bell in Hand news. It's believed to be the oldest continuously operating bar in the United States. However, the bar did stop operating in the Prohibition, so that doesn't
Get
work
that one
either.
out of here.
No one knows. No one knows.
They're saying Paisley's Pioneer Saloon is the oldest bar in Oregon, out in eastern Oregon. It's in a town called Paisley, conveniently enough. And, yeah.
Boy, I'll tell you what. I got a good idea what's going on there.
What? What do you mean?
Well,
What are you talking about?
I'm just. I went to a couple bars when I went to that crab feed with Dusty that are out in Eastern Oregon, and just say it's some interesting folk out there. Good-hearted people, salt of the earth. Yeah, trucks, balls, yeah. I don't know if what was it, Paisley's? I'm not sure Paisley's is your
my jam.
Your jam.
Paisley, Oregon.
Screw the learned people. No.
I bet that's what they're saying out there.
Screw the learned people. No. That's where I met Dallas Buck and we talked about snowmobiling. Yeah, flags.
There's also a bar in Pendleton called the Rainbow Cafe.
I've been to the Rainbow Cafe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Apparently, that guy thinks he's got the oldest bar, so there's the big battle.
Yeah, when you go there, I was there years ago. There is I remember they're leaning into that. They've got a thing up talking about how old their bar is.
He says his building was built in 1883, and that is the same year of Paisley. So they're fighting.
Much like all these other bars.
And by the way, you can buy the Pioneer Saloon.
Yeah.
Let's see when this story was. That was. Yeah, so it was last year. I'm sure it's sold by now. You could buy that thing for 500 G's.
Oh.
Out in Paisley.
No, I'll pass.
Yeah.
Because then I got to go to...
Oldest bar in Oregon.
I got to go to Paisley's.
I got the 8 oldest bars in Portland.
What's the oldest? Is Huber's the oldest?
Huber's is the second oldest. It says Matthews Pub is the oldest, established 1872.
I always thought Huber's.
It says Free Street. I don't know where that is.
Where's that?
Let's see.
I don't know any of this.
It still says Free Street. I don't know what area it is in the city.
Oldest bar in Washington State, place called The Brick.
Oh, an alt-right group called the Proud Boys have been conducting regular meetings in this pub.
Remember what I said about that?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Me, on the other hand, I can walk in there and be welcomed with open arms. They'll take one look at me and say, "Brother, you're home." Yeah, trucks, balls, yeah. Damn right.
You got Kelly's Olympian, White Eagle Saloon,
White Eagle.
Dan and Louie Oyster Bar.
Have you been to the Brick in Seattle? That's up there. I think it's up there, like right along the.
No, I've never been to any of those.
Maybe. Nope. Where's Roslyn?
Couldn't tell you. Unfamiliar.
Why not? Aren't you from Washington?
Unfamiliar with those neck of the woods. Don't spend a ton of time up in Seattle. It's a little further away than Portland for me.
Okay, Roslyn's way out east.
Yeah.
East of Seattle, I mean. That has the oldest bar called the Brick.
Okay.
All right. Well, guys, we got a party.
Yeah. We got to get to 5 big stories. Screw the learned people. No. America. Yeah. Fat, uneducated, beer. It's about the gist of it.
Someone's onto the whereabouts of Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, we tracked him down?
Allegedly.
All right, allegedly.
And our college football Grundle Thumper coming up. Right now, the Hot 5 at 5.
Hot topics, hot opinions.
Oh, golly, I'm hot today.
And hot air. It's time for the Hot 5 at 5.
That's hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 on Primetime with Isaac and Soup.
No, I mean it. That's very hot.
The Hot 5 at 5 with Isaac and Soup. Brought to you on The Fan by Victor Rico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Online at victorricos.com. Number 5.
Jeff Van Gundy is finally back in the coaching game.
Yeah.
He will become the Clippers' top assistant under Tyronn Lue.
There was some talk about, like, if the Lakers could have gotten their ass together, if they're going to go with a guy like J.J. Redick, that Van Gundy would have been a great, just voice to lean on for a first-time coach. Ty Lue a little more established, obviously being an NBA champion, but Van Gundy is he's a bright mind.
Well, he once coached Lue.
Yeah.
Back with the Rockets, and the two bonded as members of the USA basketball staff. Van Gundy, he'd been broadcasting for 16 years.
Yeah, he'd been around a long time.
That added up. Like it didn't feel like he'd been out of coaching that long.
Every now and then his name would kind of pop up, but
he never.
It's just weird that it's been that long. You always remember him. Him holding on to Alonzo Mourning's leg.
Yeah. He's 62 now.
Boy, that's younger than I would have thought. Been out of the game for 16 years, only 62.
I also read that he coached Ty Lue in 2004, and now he'll be Ty Lue's top assistant.
They literally just said that.
Nice.
So Oilers Panthers.
Got it on the TV right now.
Yeah, we've got Game 5 tonight. A similar situation as Celtics Mavericks.
Yeah, the Oilers' big rallying cry is drag them back to Alberta.
Yeah.
Make them come back.
Yeah.
And we've heard from the Oilers up top lady has broken her silence. She's out there speaking.
What'd she say?
Well, she told everyone.
I'll have that for you.
Yeah, we'll have it for you. America, yeah. Unfortunately,
no, that'd be Canada, yeah.
Yeah, they did not come out again.
Wait, so she flashes her boobs, and then everybody wants more of her boobs, and she says no?
Well, also the Barstool Hockey Podcast founder, and then when she came on in like the light of day, not whipping them out, then everyone's like, oh, she's not that great, and there was a lot of ass talking.
So she's pissed off.
Yeah. She's getting drugged now. It's like, what? It's ridiculous.
You got to be nice to the up
She
top
tries
ladies.
to do something
I
for
know.
the hockey community.
And, exactly. People ruin these kinds of things.
Uplifting a whole fan base.
That's right. Shut up and let her show her tease.
And now other people are going to be shamed to not do it, and we all lose out. It's ridiculous. By the way, go Oilers.
So they're just about to get underway. Oilers must win to stay alive. Kristaps Porzingis, just like that, he will undergo knee surgery following the Celtics championship. He will be out several months. You know, the NBA draft is next week. Blazers pick number 7, 14, 34, and 40.
Time to add a bunch of teenagers to this roster. Let's go.
And you'll want to join the fan. We will be at 10 Barrel Brewing in Northwest Portland for live coverage 1 week from tomorrow.
Yes.
Can you believe that?
You can watch Danny Meringue literally lose his S in real time.
Well, apparently I was listening to my favorite midday show driving in today, Danny and Dusty here on the fan, and they were talking about how we're already in free, like the CBA changed so that we're now already in free agency.
It's already there.
Cool. Well, I have nothing to say about that. I just. I mean, I don't know. That's what
I just moved
Danny's-
on to number 2 because no one had anything to say
Well,
about that.
I don't know. I guess we're in free agency. I don't know.
I thought there was something. I love that.
So, yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's.
So you guys know.
That's
just so
pretty-
you know. And baseball
pretty
is
cool.
going on tonight.
Yes.
Just want you guys to know that. Mariners, Guardians.
My Mets won again, by the way. Just saying.
Mariners are now up 6-1 in Cleveland. The Guardians are good this year.
Yeah.
Bottom of the 5th. Mariners have the lead.
The damnedest thing, the Mariners have the largest lead in any division in baseball.
Looking pretty good.
Yes.
By the way, we did do the number, run the numbers. The Mariners' magic number is 77.
To make the playoffs, yeah.
Book it, Dano. Book it.
J.P. Crawford.
Well, it's interesting. Like, no one in that division appears capable of doing anything right now to challenge them. So, I mean, it's looking pretty good right now for the Mariners. A lot of baseball to go. I mean, I guess if, like, the Rangers staff gets healthy, but...
J.P. Crawford with a 2-run home run tonight. College baseball, Florida State eliminated North Carolina from the College World Series 9-5. And then Kentucky and Florida got postponed. That's an elimination game. They're going to have to play that tomorrow.
By the way, can
Number 1.
Can the Mariners actually
Number
do something
one?
to the trade deadline and go get a bat? You know, and be like, yeah, I know we're 9 games up, but I don't know, go find a bat to actually try to make a run in the playoffs. Might be an interesting theory.
Yeah, I saw a name the other day. Who was I was reading somebody, was it Stark, that was dropping a few names the Mariners could go get, and there was some pretty interesting.
Go get a bat. This whole like, oh, we're growing it organically. Great, you have the best pitching staff in baseball. You
Who's
can't
the
hit
guy
for
from the
Fs.
White Sox? Jimenez? What's his name? The Eloy Jimenez? Anyone?
Yes.
Hello? Apparently he could be on the market.
Looking up season.
Are we on number 1?
I think we are on number
That's
one.
correct.
Really? Well, this isn't really worthy of being number 1, but that's all I have left. Ohio State football ducking UConn.
Huh?
But then again, who can blame them? A 2025 non-conference game against the Huskies is off, replaced by a showdown with the storied Grambling State. The first ever game against a Big Ten school for Grambling. It'll be in Columbus on the 6th of September, 2025.
Gosh.
That's all I got for you.
By the way, Jimenez is on the DL and he's hitting 231, so
He'll fit right in.
he'll fit 5 home runs, 12 RBI. Are you kidding me?
Who else?
Slide him right in.
Who else is out there?
Let's go. Well, the Mets maybe. I mean, in theory, the Mets could be having a fire sale.
Okay. Probably won't, but
Probably won't, but
Get
playing
Pete
better.
Alonso.
Dude,
Get that
there's
guy.
plenty of talk that Alonso could be had.
They need a first baseman, don't they?
I don't think it would hurt. And Alonso consistently hits for power, not a great average, but he's a bat that can, he consistently hits 30+ every year.
Hot 5 at 5 brought to you by Victor Rico's Mexican Food, the most popular burrito spot in Oregon. Order now at victorricos.com. Someone might be onto the whereabouts of Aaron Rodgers, and it's awkward. Next on The Fan.
As the NBA draft approaches,
Padres. If the Mets, although the Mets are winning,
Yeah, the Mets are winning, so that may.
Yeah.
But Alonso's he's been rumored for the last 2 years. You can have Jeff McNeil in his .222 average.
He seems kind of Mariner-y.
He seems very Mariner,
doesn't he?
Well,
Too much
normally-
money on a contract that
Yeah.
he was really good and earned it then, but might not be so much anymore. Yeah, that's very Mariner.
What about Luis Robert, the guy from the White Sox?
He's the other one besides the Jimenez. No, just go like last year. In fact, you sold guys off. Go. You are good. You have a pitching staff that can win you a World Series. So to me, when your offense is this bad, I mean, your run as good as you are, your run differential is still like plus 18. You can't hit, and you're winning a lot of close games and finding ways to eke it out. But we know in the postseason, it's a different animal. Go get a bat or two. Don't do this stupid 54% win. We're playing for the future. Go win now. There's an opportunity right here.
Well, it's kind of interesting. There's some teams that aren't they're just not playing very well that could be sellers, like Tampa.
Yeah.
Could they go get a Rosarena? I mean, he's been
and-
terrible this year, but
I'm this is kind of obviously a big reach, and I know you'd have to give up a lot, but there's some talk that like Vladdy Jr. in Toronto could be available because he's not very good.
Wow.
So I know that's
because he's not very good.
Well, no, because the Blue Jays aren't very good. The Blue Jays stink. And so, there's some talk that, maybe
Dude.
someone like that could be available.
Vlad Jr. and Julio.
Well, or here's
and
another
the big dumper.
Well, here's another one too. Let's say like the Mets decide this out. A guy like JD Martinez, who the Mets got this offseason.
Yeah.
Like go get that's more realistic than obviously the big blockbuster deal to go get Vladdy Jr. But they did that with Castillo, right? That was a huge move, and then ended up signing him long term. So if you're willing to do that, why if Vladdy Jr. really is on the market and Toronto's listening, why wouldn't you at least make a call on that?
Maybe they can get Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
You think they can get him?
So, well, wasn't he supposedly that was where he wanted to, or I guess was going to play in Seattle before he came to Anaheim?
Yeah, makes an offseason home up there or something like that.
Another name, according to Jeff Passan, is from the Rays, infielder Itzhak Paredes.
Don't know enough about him.
Good little player.
Yeah.
Had a breakout year last year, hit 31 bombs, drove in 100 runs.
Oh, that's tasty.
And they're not very good this year, so maybe they'll sell some bros off. Anyway, the whereabouts of Aaron Rodgers is a mystery. Of course, this is not a story I give a rip about.
Yeah, we just keep hearing that he's on the other side of the world at an event that's very important.
Yeah, well, now one NFL insider, Albert Breer, is hinting that Rodgers is away on an ayahuasca retreat.
Yeah, that makes sense.
for the second time.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah.
Or maybe more.
I'm sure he's done ayahuasca plenty of times. I mean, he talks about it, but that...
There was also the big darkness retreat,
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
remember that? Which I think may have been a
that was here.
second retreat.
That was in Oregon.
But this, this is my point. If that really is what this is,
why can't he do that before camp?
Because I'm sure, like when you do ayahuasca and like you have like these like hero doses of mushrooms, a lot of times they are in like it's a controlled environment, and this may be around a trip. Maybe he's the speaker at a conference. My aunt goes down to a lot of these, and like it's a whole thing. It's a big event. It lasts like a week, but
I know, but why can't you schedule it before minicamp?
Well, because the ayahuasca doesn't move for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers moves for the ayahuasca.
Like he couldn't do it in May. That's not an option.
That's the sort of stuff that I like. If that's really what it is, like that's so stupid that he's, you can't go all in and talk about getting rid of all the BS isn't football and then miss mandatory camp because you're, seeing through your third eye.
So Albert Breer was on the Rich Eisen show, and he said, this reads, Albert gave a lengthy response to Rodgers' whereabouts that was not in the New York area instead of being at the Jets facility, a decision that will cost him more than $100,000 in fines. He said, quote, the best I can answer this right now that I feel solid about is that he is somewhere that they could not excuse and maintain credibility with the rest of the locker room, but would be expected, would not be an out of left field thing for him. So you guys can open your mind, so to speak, as he's been known to open his mind sometimes into all the possibilities.
Yeah.
That's what Breer said.
Look, he's at an ayahuasca retreat, and he's just trying to keep it quiet because, and by the way, when he comes back, people are going to ask him about him, and he's going to be all bristly he's going to be like a total dip-ass about this whole thing.
He'll be cagey and annoyed and aloof.
Yep. You're right. You're right.
It's just so stupid. But this is Aaron Rodgers. So,
well,
at the end of the day, they have a soft schedule at the beginning.
Exactly.
It's a good team.
Get out there, sling the rock.
They should get out. I'm looking at I'll bring up their schedule, but I looked at this a while back. They should be 5-1.
I bet they're not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying on paper,
see them winning this game.
They are going to be
favored
in a lot of their early games before it gets harder. So they start off with the Washington Commanders. Come on, like that's a win.
Who's their quarterback now?
Jaden Daniels.
Oh yeah,
you got a rookie signal caller. I'm sorry,
should beat him.
That's a win. And then you got the Carolina Panthers. Oh my God,
should beat him.
Should win. And then you got the Giants. That should be a win.
That stinks of a game the Jets would lose.
Sorry, guys. My bad. Preseason. That was preseason.
Oh.
Boy, that's got you a couple times. That jumps up and bites you there.
It jumps up and gets me. Because it's been a while.
You need to be better than this.
Back to front.
Okay.
It's tough week one.
this.
I knew there was one game in
All
there.
right, what do we got?
They start out with the 49ers on the road.
Loss.
That's tough.
Loss.
That's tough.
Loss.
But then you get Tennessee, who's not very good.
Yeah.
You get New England, who might be the worst team in the NFL.
Okay.
Then you get the Denver Broncos, who are...
Where's that game?
That's at home.
Okay.
And Denver stinks, and Denver's got a new quarterback. And then you got the Jets, and you got Sam Darnold.
The Jets are going to play the Jets?
Excuse me, you got the Vikings. Jets and Vikings. It's like that. That is a nice, favorable start for you.
Wait, Sam Darnold is the quarterback of the Vikings?
Yeah, Sam Darnold.
I thought they drafted, what's his nuts?
J.J. McCarthy?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's starting. It's not going to be J.J. McCarthy.
How do you know that?
They've already said it.
Why'd they say that?
Because J.J. McCarthy they're not throwing him to the Wolves. I mean, maybe by week 5 it's J.J. McCarthy. Either way, like that's a 4-1 start.
3-2.
There should be a 4-1 start.
And the only reason I'm saying that is because they're the Jets. They'll find a way to make it 3-2.
And then you got Buffalo, which is tough.
Ooh,
but then again, then you got Pittsburgh, New England. I mean, Houston, Arizona. This is a very favorable schedule for them.
Well, look.
The Jets are going to win double-digit games. They're going to be an 11-win team if Aaron Rodgers is healthy.
It's just if he stays healthy and they win games, none of this crap matters.
Yeah.
Nothing will matter with Rodgers.
Yeah.
This is all going to be tied to how much success they have.
Yeah, 100%.
That's it. And so he better, because he does this to himself. He backs himself into a corner. Now you better go out there and play well, because if you don't, now here they come.
And
they're coming for you.
And he's going to be a bristly a-hole to the New York media. And this isn't Green Bay, man. They're going to roast that dude. And then you got to wonder, you got to be careful about losing the locker room. And by the way, your offensive line is 1,000 years old. I mean, this will be the most interesting. Oilers just scored.
Shorty.
That will be the most interesting story, I think, early on in the NFL season. We'll be watching the.
You kind of did a Roy McIlroy fist pump there.
I had a little fist
It's
pump.
a little awkward.
Yeah?
Yeah. Did anybody catch that on YouTube? You guys catch that?
I'm sure it's on the YouTube.
Yeah, I wonder what that looked like.
Have to run it
just
back.
kind of felt.
Out.
It's like you really wanted a fist bump, but you couldn't because you were on the air and you were talking.
Yeah.
So you had to tone it down.
It down.
It was a little. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm
going to watch it back right now.
That's a tasty goal right there. That's phenomenal.
College football Grundle Thumper is next. Now, I saw I've been reading the preseason prognostications,
Yeah.
because that's what I like to do. Actually, I haven't. I just saw that Phil Steele put out his rankings of the Big Ten teams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make you guess who he has dead last in the Big Ten.
Okay.
But not right now.
Not right now.
Next.
After I'm done fist bumping appropriately with that shorthanded Oilers goal.
Oh, and the other thing we have left before the end of the hour, we have another ex-athlete hair crisis.
Uh-oh.
Now, I don't know if you've seen this.
Oh, boy, do we.
You need to see this.
Oh, we do.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. This is right up your alley.
All right.
You're very passionate about
I am.
About hair crises among men.
It's tough. It's tough out there.
Boy,
honestly.
this one is.
The women have it so easy. It's just, if women do go bald, no one can make fun of them. You can't say boo about it. And then they can just put on a wig and it's completely acceptable. I can't roll in here with a wig tomorrow.
You can.
Well, maybe I should. It's unacceptable. It's ridiculous.
All right, the Grundle Thumper is next. Here's Buck. he has revealed his 2024 Big Ten Power Rankings and his season preview.
All right.
So I was reading through this and skipping over some of it because it's really boring.
Sure.
And then other parts caught my eye. He does have Oregon number 2 behind Ohio State.
Behind Ohio State. That makes sense.
Number 3, he's got, it's interesting. 3, he's got Penn State, but 4, he's got Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And I wonder how many people think Michigan might have a big fall off, with
they
Harbaugh
lose
gone. And
a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean a lot off that team.
they only have 7 returning starters.
Yeah, and then, you lose Harbaugh.
Plus transfers.
Yeah. So, look, let's not act like Michigan was just this, 10-year, run of dominance. So, yeah, I would expect that Michigan does have a big fall off. I'm not saying that Michigan's going to win 4 games or anything, but I don't think that's weird at all to put them at 3rd or 4th.
Do you know who he has last? You have to guess.
I'm going to.
And by the way, there are 18 teams in the Big Ten now.
I know. I'm going to take the fact that you're kind of being coy about it.
Coy.
Well, like you got the standard ones. Like,
I don't think you would.
Yeah, because
think it would be
Indiana sucks.
This team. It's not Indiana.
I know. This is why I'm not picking these guys, but I'm just saying Indiana sucks. Michigan State sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like Illinois sucks.
Rutgers, Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say I'm
Rutgers
throwing
has
out
a little
there.
something cooking.
I got to guess.
I think it's gonna be because you're being coy. I'm gonna go UCLA.
That's what I think too.
UCLA 14th out of 18.
14 out of 18.
Ooh, is it Washington?
Boy, that's a bold pick.
I mean, they lost every single starter they had.
Washington 11 out of 18. About Washington, he says, wait, where'd that go? He says, no team experienced more turnover year to year than the Huskies. Kalen DeBoer left, blah, blah, blah. His departure led to the Huskies returning only 36% of their production, which is number 130 in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
But the future is bright under new head coach Jed Fish.
Yeah, I don't.
Kind of generic. So they return 6. They return 2 offensive starters and 4 on defense.
Yeah, it's a bit of an uphill climb again. So it's weird. So it's none of the, I don't know, Northwestern.
He's got Rutgers 8th.
Yeah, Shiano is actually. I mean, that guy wins.
Yep.
I think they won 7 or 8 games last year, if I'm not mistaken. Did we have that? Rutgers had a winning record. Rutgers was a bowl team last year. I think they won 7, 8 games. So yeah, Rutgers isn't dreadful. Again, is it like, are we going Jonathan Smith? Are we going Michigan State here?
Ooh, that's a good guess.
Are we going Sparty?
Yeah, they were. Rutgers was 7-5 last year. That is correct.
Yeah.
It is Jonathan Smith and Michigan State.
There you go.
Dead last in the Big Ten.
Because they kicked rocks last year. I mean, they weren't good when they fired Mel Tucker. It's not like things were going great. I think they fired him. I think they cooked up that excuse to fire him. But I want to say they finished maybe 3 or 4 wins. And they bring in Jonathan Smith, and Jonathan Smith is a builder, but it's not act like Jonathan Smith is like just collecting talent left and right. And their best defensive player, he's in Oregon right now.
They have 1 projected All Big Ten first team player, and that's their punter.
Are they the new? Am I going to have to get
welcome to Big Ten
an Iowa? I'm going to have to switch my Iowa punts jersey to a Michigan State punts jersey.
What you're going to need to do is get tickets to the Iowa-Michigan State game so you can truly appreciate punting.
And wear my punts sweatshirt, which, by the way, is my favorite sweatshirt. I love that thing.
This says Michigan State has a bright future under head coach Jonathan Smith, but expecting a turnaround in year 1 may be premature. The Spartans enter with a talented but inexperienced quarterback in Aiden Childs and a 24-person transfer class.
Yeah.
Turnover is a good thing entering a new coaching regime, but it usually doesn't lead to immediate wins.
Yeah, and that's my thing with Jonathan Smith. And it's like when he got to Oregon State, that guy proved that he can build something. And he'll build something at Michigan State. But, at Oregon State, he didn't build a national power. He was building a good, solid team, and I think he'll do that at Michigan State. But absolutely, new quarterback, new system, all that stuff. And you mentioned 24 transfers. There's going to be some bumps in the road there. And I'm sure Oregon fan and Oregon State fan will laugh at every one of those.
We will have more of our college football Grundle Thumper on Thursday. I've got more in here, including Daddy Ball. Coach Prime News.
Did you see the Sark video today?
Sark? No. What'd he do?
Oh, Sark said that, like people put it together, but Sark said that NIL should be the last reason you go to a school. And then someone,
okay, guy.
And someone put that up there. because I guess when you walk into the Texas facility, all their skilled position players get Lamborghinis, and they're all parked out in front of the Texas facility. So you have to walk through like
there's like a tunnel of Lambos and Ferraris.
A tunnel of Lamborghinis.
Are you serious? They all get Lambos?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look it up. The video is hilarious.
They're lining the facility like they've been valeted out there for everyone to see.
Oh
It's
my
like they're
God.
on. It's like you're walking through a car show.
So
It's
is he
great.
doing a bit then?
No, he actually is being serious, talking about how NIL should be the last thing and it's not that important. And he's getting, he's catching some hell for it. The Lambo thing is the Texas facility is just this monstrosity and just a row of players' Lambos that you walk through with the big giant Longhorn logo on the building in front. But hey, NIL should be the last reason you go to school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Quite the flex.
He was sitting there talking to Joe Klatt. They were doing a thing, at the facility, and Sark's just blowing smoke out of his arse.
Yeah, listen, 18-year-old kid, you shouldn't come here for that reason. That's not why anybody should pick college right there.
So they line them up right before you walk under the big Longhorn to go into the offices to meet Sark and like do your tour.
Yeah, and there's an orange carpet there that you get to walk down, and it's like, hey, one of these Lambos could be yours,
dude.
That was the.
That's pretty good.
I think it's Isaiah Bond, if I'm not mistaken. He was the Alabama receiver that left, and he gave some horse crap reason about why he went to Texas, and then he pulled up to his signing in a Lamborghini. Again, just be honest about it. And I hate it because if you listen to some of the interview with Klatt and Sark, Klatt just lets him, and I like Joel Klatt. I think he's a smart guy. He's good for college football, but my God, he just like when Sark says that, Klatt's like, yeah, absolutely. He just they feed into this narrative horse nears.
They suck up.
Exactly. It's just this weird ass kissing, like, oh, this you're great and you've built this despite all the challenges of Texas, the challenges of Lamborghinis and unlimited funds. And it's like when the rich guy tells you that money doesn't make you happy. I'm sure it doesn't make all your problems go away, but it's real easy for the rich a-hole to say that money isn't everything when you have all the money that you need. If you ask the person that's struggling to pay the bills, they may view that differently.
All right. Next, before we get into the club, we've got another athlete hair crisis, ex-athlete hair crisis.
Let's talk about
You're going to need to comment on this.
Let's talk about it. I'm here for it.
So we will get to that when we return. It is 5:48 on the Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Oregon athletics. Brought to you by Mods PDX. The future of building is here.
Free throw, Ford for the rebound. Here's Pritchard. He loves these. Puts it up, half court to the buzzer. Bang! Pritchard at the buzzer with a three-pointer. He's done it again.
So the Celtics do that that's what they do. That's a play. They run that.
Yeah, it's what it's like
That's his
signature move.
Why do the Mavs not attempt to?
They did. He kind of got fouled on that. Well, he traveled on it, and then he kind of got fouled. I don't know. It's just, I like that that's what he's known for. He just goes out there and hits buzzer threes.
Peyton Pritchard, the fifth Oregon Duck to win the NBA title. Mods PDX, the future of building is here.
The home of dirt and spray.
I'm Dirt.
Well, I'm surprised you haven't seen this because usually you are all over super hot hair news, particularly when it comes to ex-athletes being very insecure about their balding.
Yeah, I want to start
situation.
I want to start like a support group for men. You know, because it's of all ages. Where when you first realize that it's not working for you, it's tough. I mean, we've all struggled with it. I battled mine for several years before I just decided that enough was enough and be done with it.
Well, the latest is Landon Donovan.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know if you've seen you need to Google.
I haven't. I'm on my way right now.
Just Google Landon Donovan hair. It'll pop up. And boy, it's wild.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's not real.
It is real.
That's not.
It is.
It can't.
He's already commented on it. It is real.
That can't be real.
That is real.
What happened?
Well, what happened was...
Oh, my gosh.
Did the comb-over get combed the wrong way or flop the wrong way in the wind or something?
It's not a comb-over. He admitted that he was having hair restoration or hair...
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Plugs or whatever it's
doing
called.
The hair restoration.
And they shave a part of your head. They take hair from another part of his head
from the back
where
of your head.
they shaved it back there
Yeah.
behind his ear.
Mhm.
He was under the impression that would not show on TV. But he turned his head too much, and it showed on TV. And boy, is that a bad look.
Well, okay. Well, at least he's addressing the hair loss, right?
And he had fun with it.
He's doing the hair restoration thing. He's owning it. But that is rough.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Get yourself a cowboy hat or something, man. You gotta throw something on that
He's
thing.
on TV. He can't wear he can't wear a hat.
You can't do that in the off season? Like...
You can't just request that they don't put you on camera. Like, I don't know, man.
So they shave that area. The donor hair comes from that area where they shave.
Yeah.
So he's obviously just started it.
Just started it.
And so there's nothing on top. It's just it looks terrible.
Gosh.
But then he's just got like this side hair
like a
coming down.
flap.
And I think he thought that would look fine.
I
on
can't
TV.
believe that he thought that he was going to get away with that.
And that's the thing. I mean, this is as much about stupidity as it is about the bad look.
Well,
like,
look, if you're going hair restoration like that, just shave the whole thing.
Sure.
And just go bald.
But also don't go on TV where millions of people could see this happen. Like, if you do this,
What are you gonna do? Not go on TV? Like he makes a lot of money doing that.
You got to put a hat. You got to go hat.
They won't let him
wear a spunky little like a British
little
news
flat cap.
boy.
Yeah.
What if
go like Peaky Blinders and be like, hey, this is my new look. Country music guys do this all the time. Like Zach Brown has not taken off his hat in like 17 years. We're like, hey, dude, we know what's going on underneath there. You know, Kenny Chesney's another one of those guys. That hat ain't coming off.
Well,
the thing is glued to your head, and then it magically.
Brett Michaels is the king of that.
He's the king of it. But like Tim McGraw had this, and then like all of a sudden his hat came off, and he's got a full head of hair. We're like, I know what you've been doing, Tim. But like the male hair restoration is kind of like the lady up tops in that we don't like to talk about it. We all know it. We all see it. But we don't want to acknowledge it.
Until a celeb's had one, and then we all talk about it, like the Jason Witten hair, or yeah.
Then we make fun of you. It looks if it looks terrible, Brian Urlacher.
Yep, that one too.
Yeah, I guess the only thing he could have done if they won't let him wear like a headdress or something.
These guys shave it.
That or.
I'm trying to think of what I would do.
You just have to have somebody say. You have to have somebody watching saying, "Hey, dude."
Yeah.
How far can I turn my head?
You have
so
to have
that
a mark.
This doesn't show.
I mean, that's what a producer-director's for. You have to have
Correct.
a mark and a camera,
That's
and we're
correct.
only going to show you on this
That's
one,
correct.
and you just have to not be turned when you're
correct.
speaking. Like
they did him no favors.
You could have orchestrated a scenario to get away with this, and they did not.
That's right.
I like the idea of Landon Donovan refusing to turn at any point. He just stares straight
Stiff neck.
ahead,
Sorry, can't.
shoulders stiff, not move 1 inch. I'm just trying to think, like, if we were doing a show together and I looked over and saw that on your head, there is no way I could be professional.
I'd be like, what?
Yeah, there's just no way.
What? What are you laughing at? What
like,
are you looking at?
It's like the Austin Powers movie with the mole. Holy moly. Just mole. And
by the way, Landon Donovan, former U.S. soccer great.
Yeah, soccer star.
He was on World Cup coverage.
Who used to have a great mullet, and now that. By the way, here's hair restoration. That's going to be a tough one because when you're bald like me, it's really, really hard to cover that much area with donor hair. I'm not certain that hair restoration that he's going to do is going to look very good. Again, see Brian Urlacher. It's great for filling in like when you're thinning or whatever, if you catch it early. But man,
well, he's trying.
When you've got a barren wasteland up top like I do, it's beyond your control. Landon Donovan. Tiger, by the way, needs to have an intervention too.
Not going well for Tiger?
No, Tiger's got the LeBron thing happening where he's tried.
Well, I swear, when he showed up at the Masters, you guys were like, look at him. He looks pretty good. He's clearly gone through it.
He's done the LeBron thing.
But it's...
He has tried multiple times, you can tell, and it's not working.
The shower didn't take.
Yeah, well, like, you go into those consoles and they'll tell you, hey, like I did this years ago, and they were like, you're just not a good candidate for it. But when you're Tiger, you probably don't take no for an answer. You're like, dude, stick him in there. And LeBron's had like multiple, and like it goes in waves, but it's just like a dead lawn. And Tiger's is, boy, it's bad now. When he takes off that hat, you want to talk about the wire brush at Pinehurst? It's on top of Tiger's head.
All right, let's move on to the club. A classic film from 1987 is getting a sequel. It's 5:58 on The Fan.
Your roof protects you and your loved ones.
was fine. I just didn't want to go through the trouble of selling it because people are, to your point.
Oh, it's nightmarish.
They're awful.
Yes.
They're like, oh, will you deliver it? Oh, how about we $15 instead?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Dude, just take it.
Yeah.
It was an outdoor patio table.
Really?
Decent shape.
So you just put it out there, put free.
We swapped ours out. Yeah, I just put a little, I put it out at the curb there. And it's usually gone within a couple hours.
Because the stuff I see on my walks are just the most ridiculous things in the world. And today I saw the crown jewel of all.
What was it?
A taken apart, deconstructed, so the tank was taken off, well-used toilet. Someone had the unmitigated gall to put this out on the curb.
Oh, you took a picture?
I took a picture. Look at that. Are you kidding me right now? You took out your old crappy-ass toilet.
Are you
with
kidding
the tank
me?
not attached and just threw that on the curb with a cheap cardboard sign that said free. I've got the poo in my hands. Really?
It doesn't look that bad.
What?
What? It doesn't look. Well, I can't see inside.
Who is coming to take that toilet?
Dude, I guarantee you that thing's gone.
I'm going back to check tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
You
It's
think
gone.
someone's coming to take that toilet?
100%.
Someone's going to come along and
Yes.
think to themselves,
Oh, yeah.
used toilet, I'm taking that?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. They'll drop it in like a rental or something. They will. People do this all the time. Dude, those things aren't cheap.
Toilets?
People want to save money.
They're like $60.
It's a lot of money.
You don't even,
somebody will get that. Because that doesn't look that bad. I don't know why the tank's off of it.
I don't even see it. But that's my point is I don't even see a tank.
It's behind it.
No, that's the lid.
Oh. Where? Yeah.
I don't
where's
know.
the?
I don't know.
Well, yeah. Somebody will take it. Trust me.
I will see. Because I walked by there. Now I got to go back and see. But I thought to myself, you cheap son of a bitch. Like, really? You can't throw away a toilet? You're going to put that on the curb for us all to have to walk by?
Don't you think people don't know what to do with it? You know, like this happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Where I want to get rid of something and I don't really know how to do it.
Well,
so I just throw it under the house.
Well, that happens. But here's my thing.
Like we talked about this, the old windows.
Yeah, the old window. You didn't
the
know
old
what to do.
windows. I have old hoses. I have old
Well, that was nice. This weekend, I told you they do it once a year. The waste connections or whatever, the dump people, the garbage people. They have an event at the high school where you can just bring whatever you want for free and people get rid of it. And it's always stuff like that. Because I do it every year. This year I threw away an old boat. I had an old boat that was sitting there that was no longer any good. And I was like, what do you do? I took it there. They took it. They'll take anything. And you see people with all kinds of random stuff. But you know what you don't put an item that you have spent years defecating in. Like, seriously.
Some guys do.
Someone has taken how many dumps have gone down in that toilet and you just throw it on the curb? It's literally on the sidewalk. I had to walk around someone's used feces today. That is not okay.
Well, maybe it's clean.
Really?
Well, you can clean a toilet, you know.
And by the way, it wasn't a bad-looking house either.
Well, it's not a bad-looking toilet. If I do say so myself, I kind of want it.
Will you want it? You gonna head over to the
Well,
coop?
no, but if I had a bunch of rentals and crap that I didn't care about, I'd throw it a used toilet. Hell yeah. Let's go. All you need is a ring, right?
I guess and possibly a
possibly
tank. I don't know.
I'd make my own. I'd make it a fish tank. It'd be great. Be cutting edge.
Just for heaven's sakes, people, just throw
See,
it away.
I think, yeah, but how?
You don't-
Like, that's the thing.
You can't
I think
throw it in that
No.
would fit in a garbage can.
I don't think people think they can throw a big porcelain toilet in the garbage can. And I'm not even sure you can do that. I don't know what you're supposed to do with it.
I throw it.
Does that go to the dump?
I do this sometimes because if I'm ever not certain if something can be thrown away, you know what I do? I put it at the bottom of the trash can. And
And you hide it.
Because I don't want to face the shame of the garbage man. Once in a while, I'll get a note on my garbage saying that I can't I can't recycle this. I can't throw this away.
I've gotten one of those.
And then I feel shame and like, oh God, they're judging me. So I hide. I either wrap some trash bags around it and I stuff it and hide it. And then I just I figure chances are the garbage guy's not going to be too picky about it. But I've had a thing or two rejected. But a toilet? You just leave it
Well,
out.
like this guy says, when you bought your house, you used the toilets that are already in there.
Oh, no.
Somebody else pooped in those.
No.
Well, but
First
you
thing
have,
you do,
though.
First thing you do when you move into a house is you
What?
change out the toilets.
I don't do that. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
We do?
Hold on.
There's a situation.
So, Buckley just said in our headsets, we have significant sports death.
Oh my God, I see it. And by the way, you kind of predicted this.
Yeah, because we had Jerry West, Bill Walton.
Bill Walton, you were like, who's the third?
We got the third.
Who died?
And by the way, this is the biggest of the three.
This would be 93-year-old Say Hey Kid Willie Mays.
Oh.
By the way, there was a recent...
Well, I'm not so sad because he was 93.
Again, after 85, it is no longer sad. You won life.
I thought it was going to be a shocking death.
No,
Like Kobe Bryant.
93, hell of a run.
And there was something coming up where Willie Mays said that he wasn't going to attend it. I forget what it was. There was some.
Well, it would have been a big anniversary of the shot heard around the world, which was 54. He was a rookie. He was a rookie on that team.
Maybe that's what it was. There was something. There was a big event, and they were saying that Willie Mays wouldn't attend. And obviously, I'm guessing that he was battling something again, battling 93 years of age. But some say the greatest baseball player of all time. And 93, you won life. You won life. And
greatness.
Buck named his kid after him.
That's right.
Willie lives on.
That's right.
In Buck's household. What's his name? Mays?
Mays.
Which, by the way,
not named after Billy Mays.
Not
also
named
dead.
after
Willie
Billy
Mays.
Mays.
Wouldn't that be someone if someone named it after Billy Mays? And the ShamWow he's OxyClean. The ShamWow was the hooker guy. Yeah, you don't want him. You want Billy. Yeah, Billy was the OxyClean, although he did a lot of blow.
24-time All-Star, 12-time Gold Glover.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
The fact that you came up with Mays, it's a masterstroke. It almost redeems you from having your cowardly dog named Posey. The Mays thing is that's a kick-ass name. That's a good one that you get to tell your son as he grows up who you named after, because Willie Mays was just beloved by everyone.
He was the dude.
He was the dude.
Yeah, the garbage bro is in, and he says that now they have the big claw machine, that takes the trash, picks it up.
Yeah.
Like that it's too heavy. If you have the toilet in there,
it's no good.
Yeah, the claw machine's going to be like, hey, what the hell's this? And then the guy's going to have to get out, and then he is going to curse you.
Yeah.
He's going to dig through there and be like, what the hell are you doing, pal?
Well, you know what the answer to that is? Not putting it out. You can't put a toilet. I'm telling you right now, if feces is involved, you can't put it out for free. You can't. If I put a couch out, and I was like, hey, by the way, I took several dumps on that couch. And no one's taking that couch.
Johnny Depp's couch?
Yeah. Amber Heard's been on that thing.
I disagree. I think that somebody's going to take it. Like, that's what you want, right?
I'm going to have to go by tonight.
Yeah, I bet you it's gone.
Because it's only like 4 or 5 blocks from my house. I'm going to drive by that tonight and see if the toilet...
My guess is it's gone. We will reconvene on Thursday's club, and I will have a head count of black people at the Vampire Weekend show in Bend.
The toilet.
And we'll find out if the toilet is still there.
There was a chair that someone had left out right by Mountain View High School. It was like your grandmother's living room chair, kind of really high back, almost ornate.
Yeah.
It was like why would you ever sit in that chair? And it sat in the rain. It was like they put it out in the fall. That thing sat on the curb for probably 2 months. And every time I walked by it, I was like, oh my God, that is still there. I don't know. I kind of want to know what happened to it. But you think about all the mold and just gross funk that thing accumulated from October till Thanksgiving, just sitting there. And I thought that
somebody took it.
I'm guessing that someone came along finally and mercifully set it on fire or something. There's no way someone took that and was like, yeah, it's
I'll be
my
honest with
chair.
you, dude. I've never sat something out on the corner. I do it from time to time. I've never had it not go in a day.
I've never said anything out.
Now, I do live on kind of a busy street. There's a lot of traffic. And that matters.
Yeah.
But generally, somebody be like, oh, all right, I'll throw that in the back.
People love free.
And
I've
they head
never
out.
done it. I've never done it in my life.
It's a great way to get rid of stuff.
I'm like anti it.
We'll put something out there, and then if it doesn't get taken, we'll put something on either Nextdoor or Craigslist that says first come first serve, come and get it, and then it's gone immediately.
Well, the other thing, too, is somebody mentions you can grease your garbage guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, well, you should anyways. Tip your garbage man.
Things will disappear.
Yeah.
Or garbage woman, in my case.
It's another one, too. Like, do not put out your gross mattress. Don't
yeah,
do
that
that.
happens.
It's vile. Where it's just like, I don't even know what the color and the texture of it is. It's like the paper that the Constitution's written on. It's just a weird off yellow. You know, it's just your body funk seeping into that over the years. Don't do that. Under any circumstances, do not put out your gross used stain mattress. For God's sakes. We're not animals, people. Actually, some of us are.
All right, a film from 1987, a classic, is getting a sequel. We'll tell you what that is next on The Fan.
It's back, and it's sure to sell out fast. The afternoon round of the 10th Annual Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms on Thursday, July 11th. Presented by Autotown GMC and brought to you by Michelob Ultra is sold out. And the morning round is filling up fast. Also brought to you by Doers, George McCoy with Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, and Maestro Dobel Tequila. Reserve your foursome now at 1080 The Fan.
She thought long and hard about saying that.
It's fantastic. I got drunk and whipped my tees out. Yeah, Oilers, Kate.
There was a hint of regret in there.
Yeah,
but
I'm not certain she's going to do it again, but
she's doubling down.
She's smart. She started Oilers, Kate OnlyFans.
Yeah, no kidding.
That thing would blow up.
Where was she, by the way? I didn't see that video.
Oh,
she was like under a bridge somewhere outside.
Yeah,
That's where she goes to smoke weed or something?
That's what I think that was the what she was intimating, yeah.
I got the impression from looking at Oilers Kate that Oilers Kate is in the nightlife industry, whether that is a waitress, a bartender.
Somebody said I think she works at a bar near the oil rigs or something.
How old
like
is
that.
she?
Oh, she looks probably 30, late 20s, early 30s. There's some miles on that. You know, I think if she is 28, I think that's maybe some hard living on that. You know, that's.
They got a bunch of haunts in Edmonton.
Well, I don't know. It's Edmonton.
I mean, I always think
of the hots are more on the coast. Vancouver, and then on the other side you get Montreal,
maybe
and
Halifax,
Toronto. I'm not certain if I don't know what a Moose Jaw 5 is compared to, other things, but hey, Oilers Kate in Edmonton, that's a catch. If you're working out in Alberta, that's a great catch. I mean, she's cute. A little sassy, likes the sauce, loves hockey, great up tops.
Yeah, she said on that podcast that that's just what happens after like 8 Trulies at an Oilers game.
Yeah, she got a hand tattoo. Look, there's some bad decisions in there. She probably smells like Marlboro's in bad decision, maybe some regret mixed in, but I bet you Oiler Kate is a great time.
Apparently, Canadians are some of the most beautiful people in the world, according to a new study.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Pam Anderson famously was at I believe a Toronto Argonauts game. Someone pulled a Brett Musburger, creeped down her in the camera, and Pam Anderson became like
that's right,
the ultimate sex symbol.
That's how she blew up.
She was hot Canadians.
Yeah, this study was commissioned by a British-based swimwear company, and it actually pinpointed where in the world people are the most attractive. They analyzed Reddit posts searching for such terms as attractive, sexy, beautiful, handsome, gorgeous, good-looking, pretty, and hot. And then they used AI technology with images, independent research lab, to visualize exactly what these attractive nations could look like. And Canada was ranked 5th most attractive in the world, beating Brazil, France, and Italy.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Boy, have you been to Brazil? Brazil's.
I haven't been to Brazil or France, but I have been to Italy. And, I would say there's a chance Canada beats Italy. I mean,
My number one that I felt totally
Brazil,
inadequate at was, Brazil is bringing
another
some
level.
serious heat. I go Spain. When I landed in Spain, I felt like everyone in Spain was good looking but me. Like everybody. The Spaniards, they got it on lockdown. By the way, according to Vancouver Magazine, Canada's 10 hottest celebrities, Ryan Reynolds comes in at number 1. And he is beautiful.
He's pretty hot.
Yeah. You got Rachel McAdams making that list.
Yeah.
Drake.
Drake
isn't hot.
The Biebs. You got the Biebs up
We got
there.
Biebs.
Yeah.
We got Shay Mitchell.
Pam Anderson.
She's from Pretty Little Liars. Well, I think they're going with right now, not of all time.
Yeah, because Biebs is
Yeah.
looking a little haggard these days.
Well, and so is
Pam.
So is Pam. Anna Paquin would make that list. Ryan Gosling, for God's sakes.
Yeah, they have Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds.
Can I say, is it possible that
Gosling's Canadian?
the Canadian men hotter than the Canadian women?
It's possible.
They got a lot of hot dudes.
Ooh, Emmanuel Shrieky is Canadian.
Who's that?
She's the hot from Entourage. She was Sloane in Entourage.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe maybe the Canadians are indeed bringing the heat. I don't know. I've never really thought much about it.
So the movie from 1987 that is getting a sequel, and this one,
they just redid Roadhouse.
Yeah, they
That's
did.
not a sequel. You're
Jake
saying
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Well, this is
not a sequel. You're saying this is not a reboot. This is a sequel.
It's a sequel.
Okay, which means it's going to be terrible. But
yes,
all right.
Yeah, I mean I won't see it, but Josh Gad is going to star in it.
Oh, all right. I
And
mind,
he is
I don't mind
going
a little Josh Gad.
He will be producing with Mel Brooks Spaceballs.
Oh my God, they're gonna finally do it.
They're making a Spaceballs spoof.
Spaceballs 2,
Spaceballs.
the search for more money.
Well, it says here, so it's in development. It's at Amazon MGM Studios. Josh Gad will star in the film, produced with Brooks, and he helped write the screenplay with Benji Samit and Dan Hernandez. And then the director of Strays and Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar. Josh Greenbaum will be
Sounds
be
like
on
a
the
banger of a cast.
I don't know, man. This scares me, but at the same time, if Mel Brooks is involved, is there a chance this is good?
Yeah.
Because
What's he now? 97, 98? Is he 100?
He's old as dirt. But the problem is
97.
Think about this though. Candy dead. Joan Rivers dead.
He'll be 98 in 2 weeks. 10 days.
Did you know that this will be the first official Mel Brooks film to ever get a sequel?
Really?
That he directed? Yeah. Any film that he directed has not had a sequel until now.
Huh.
And Gad teased his involvement in the project early this month on Instagram, saying, "Just handed a film script that I think may be the funniest and best thing I've ever worked on, and I am so freaking excited."
Wow. Huh. Well,
and there's no word on when we'll be able to check it out.
A lot of the people are dead. Hopefully we can bring back Bill Pullman and Rick Moranis because they're still alive. Lone Star and Dark Helmet. And it really does, because in the movie they joke about it. Mel Brooks says, and God willing, we'll all meet again in Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. If it's not called Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money,
it needs to be.
They've missed the boat.
Well, Mel's not going to let that.
No.
I don't know. He's going to be 98. Maybe he would.
Yeah.
Like, how much do you really rely on a 98-year-old?
You're right. I think that's a telltale sign,
Yeah.
if they're onto something, is the title.
The title. If that isn't the title, then
you know the studios
Yeah.
come in and screwed with everything.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. I am excited. Except what are the chances that Mel Brooks is dead before this actually comes out?
Probably pretty good.
Yeah, those are pretty high.
But that movie's hilarious.
Spaceballs stands up. That movie is spectacular.
One of my favorites.
It's so good. I mean, there's just so many. It's like Caddyshack. There's just too many quotable moments that you can. I still do the ludicrous speed. Buckle up, buckle this. They've gone to plaid. Suck to blow. I mean, there's 1,000 of them.
We ain't found
this
Have
may
you
be
combed the desert? Man, we ain't found.
This may be a controversial statement, and I may be caught up in the moment, but I do believe that Spaceballs is my It's Mel Brooks' finest movie. It's my favorite Mel Brooks movie.
What else does he have?
Oh, dude, he's got so much. I mean, obviously, I think the people would probably go with Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
As his number one.
Boy, I watched that the other day. It was on. That's on all the time. Have you noticed that? That's
Blazing
kind of
Saddles?
Yeah, it's kind of around.
Really?
And boy, is it!
It's rough.
Cringy.
Yes, the stuff that you certainly couldn't make it today. There's no way that you could make it. But I mean, Blazing Saddles, History of the World, Young Frankenstein, Spaceballs, The Producers,
Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Robin Hood Men in Tights. I'm a Spaceballs guy. Spaceballs is Mel Brooks' finest movie.
Well, of those that you mentioned, there's no question.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if maybe there was something I was missing of Mel from back in the day.
Look Who's Talking.
Oh, okay.
Love me.
That guy's funny.
Some Spaceballs.
All right. Listen, we've got Boeing news.
Oh, yeah?
More?
Yes. We have another whistleblower.
Is he dead yet?
Yeah. They killed him? Or
no,
her?
but
Shoved him out of the-
listen, guys. So the outgoing CEO is testifying in court.
Yeah.
Of Boeing. He admitted something today. In court. Just as another whistleblower came forward.
Okay, now I'm very, very intrigued by this.
So we'll get to that next. Here's Buck.
Now, from the Fan Sports Desk, the Sports Center of
although it is a headline, or at least it was earlier today on CNN, that this guy Calhoun admitted under oath that they retaliate against whistleblowers.
Oh my gosh.
He said that.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Why would you?
He said that.
I guess you're under oath, so if it's true, you
say?
have to?
Well, yeah, he didn't want to lie. I'm looking for his quote.
Oh my gosh, that is terrifying. You got 2 whistleblowers dead under weird circumstances, and you say that you admit that you go after whistleblowers?
Which is very illegal.
We throw this.
You can't just admit
throw
to
this
that.
a-hole in jail.
Yeah, his quote says, "I know it happens." That's what he said.
God.
One of those, we don't condone it, but it happens.
Dude, I don't understand why these people are not really held accountable. It blows my mind. I mean,
Hey, the Senate's on it.
Sure they are.
Has anything ever come from a Senate hearing in the history of Senate hearings? Like
Maybe a few books.
I guess. I still remember.
Who's that ex-Trumper? Kind of a hot? Who was out there?
Kind of a hot.
Yeah, remember the ex-Trumper lady who was kind of a hot, and she was, I don't know what she was on there for. She was testifying against. She wasn't
Somebody?
testifying, but she was. I don't know.
Okay.
Some hot. I can picture her. She was on his staff.
I don't know.
McEnany?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was she testifying for?
Oh, I don't know.
Covering up who knows what. I remember the one that I'll never...
No, Cassidy Hutchinson.
Cassidy Hutchinson.
Remember her?
No, I don't. Cassidy Hutchinson? Oh, yeah, here she is.
Or maybe it was... Yeah, no. McEnany is his ex-press secretary. Cassidy Hutchinson was the witness in the January 6th hearings. That's what it was.
Okay.
She was in on meetings where she was shedding some light on Trumpy during January 6th.
I just remember
kind of hot.
I remember the one where they were doing the baseball hearings, and was it Waxman who was in charge
Henry
of that
Waxman, yeah.
Dude looked
Dude
looked like a little rat, and he was up there, and they had no idea what the hell they were talking about.
And Rafael Palmeiro's pointing his finger at people.
And then Joe Biden was up there, like younger Joe Biden, and he was talking about how steroids are the reason why he didn't make it further in baseball because guys that were cheating took him out.
Okay.
Like, zip it, Joe.
I did not remember that being a thing.
And then I remember
Might have been chanting, "Let's go, Brandon," with everybody else.
They brought out, like, even recently, they brought out the CEO of TikTok, and the Marjorie Taylor Greene and the idiot Boebert were rake that guy. That dude,
The people interviewing her had no idea what they were talking
they're
about.
like, you just steal people's information? Is that what you do? And the guy's like, no, they sign up and give it to us. It's literally right there. And do they know that they're giving you all their info? Yeah, it literally says that when we sign up, you give.
And
your
what
name.
happens when? Well, we don't do that. So
It's just. I'll tell you, the senators may be the dumbest human beings on the planet. I mean that. I'd rather have garbage men up there. It's embarrassing. Yeah, someone said too big to fail.
Yeah,
Job creators are allowed to kill a few people. It's true.
and lucrative corner cutting. That's right. That's right. It's a scary deal.
I love that he did. I was reading his quotes though. That he did say, "We are responsible for it. We need to do better." We're not gonna. Nothing's gonna happen to us, but hey, we know we have to do better. And yet we're all gonna get on a Boeing airplane because we don't have any other choice. Only 2 airplane manufacturers.
All right, we'll wrap it up next on The Fan.
Built for power or for speed?
There might be a package here or two that we have to carry that's a little bit different for some of the teams we'll face, but ultimately what's going to win games is us playing our best ball. That formula hasn't changed regardless of what conference you're in.
Dan Lanning builds a Big Ten weatherproof team.
I think stylistically what you may see is Oregon playing to the style of their opponents. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Talk about it and get the inside story from Portland's sports leader, 1080.
We're lucky here to have a great culture that our players really embrace.
The Fan.
Keller, going to see the Girl from North County, old Bob Dylan musical. How inappropriate would it be if I watched the third period of the Oilers-Panther game?
Well, you know someone else is doing it
on my phone during.
I don't know. Do you think someone else at the Broadway show
Yes.
is streaming the Oilers-Panthers game? I'm not sure. In Portland?
Yes.
And would I be
What's
able to
the show, the Bob Dylan?
The Girl from North County. Would I be able to make eye contact with the guy that's also, if I looked around, will we both see each other across the theater and be like, yeah, we know.
Is that McDavid again? You see that?
Like when I stand up, like if McDavid scores a goal in the middle of a big like number,
You'll hear a murmur.
No, you know what it'll be? It'll be the silent fist pump that we saw earlier.
Yeah, you'll see somebody else. Come on, man.
it's possible that I get hit tonight by the BTJ if that happens. There's going to be a lot of I can't believe you, and I'm going to have to respond with you can believe it. You can believe that this is happening. My old man used to bring a TV to church, and not like a little TV either.
One of those little handheld TVs?
No, it was in a boombox.
What?
He had I still have it in my garage. It's a boombox.
And he brought it into the sanctuary.
And it's got like the two tape players, and then on one side it's got a little
those.
It's got a little TV.
Did it work off antenna then?
Yes. And my old man would sit in the back of church, like the last row, and he would plug that son of a bitch in, and he would watch the NFL.
And no one had problems with that?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, he had the antenna up and everything, and he would just sit there and lean back, and he would like have it by his feet, or sometimes if he was bold and the reception was poor, he'd put it like on his lap, and then he'd bring the antenna up so you could see like the antenna sticking up above the pew.
God, that's great.
And one Robert N. Brown would sit in the back of the Mormon church and watch the NFL, and I was like, that man is genius.
I would have gone to church more as a teenager if I could do that.
Totally. He's like, if I'm going to have to be here, I'm at least going to watch my team.
The man was an innovator. And like to this day, like when he passed away, we were cleaning out a bunch of crap. And my kids had always heard that story. And we were like going through like the attic and cleaning out stuff. And I think it was my son saw it and is like, oh my God. He's like, is this the church TV? And I'm like, it is. He's like, well, you can't throw it away. So I still think it's like in my garage. And it's just, when you look at it now, it's just.
Well, you need to take it to the show tonight. What's the matter with you?
Bring up that big thing, black and white.
Hell
antenna
yeah.
up. Let's go.
You know some other dudes would be jealous, gathering around you, huddling around your TV.
Well, I mean, the third period's going to be going on right as the show starts. It'll be in the middle of, the times that are changing, and I'm going to be fist bumping like a champ. Dragging them back to Alberta, baby.
Yeah, I guarantee somebody else will be watching that.
I hope so. I'm going to try to make eye contact and figure it out.
Don't you think somewhere in any show, generally speaking, there's always somebody watching a game?
Right, probably.
Dudes, this is what we do.
Watching a game, but I don't know. The Edmonton Oilers Florida Panthers is pretty obscure for a Portland show.
Stanley Cup, baby. Gotta be something.
You might get one.
What if they're just watching a baseball game?
See, I think that's more likely.
Yeah, the M's still going on, right? M's Guardians?
They should be wrapped up now. Let's see.
It was 8-4 last I saw.
8-5 final.
Question will just be, how upset will the BTJ be with me?
Just tell her it's a great game.
Yeah, she'll get over it.
All right, we're out of here. No show tomorrow. We'll be back Thursday. Up next is Hot Corner with Harris and Joe. We'll see you Thursday, 3 to 7 on the Fan. Good night.
Turning on a nighttime